Oh, it's good to be back. Welcome to episode 53 of Bonfire Man. So what is Bonfire Man exactly? Well, it's an experimental Snowflake Iron Man account. This account started when I asked the question, how far can you get in RuneScape if you're only allowed to interact with everything exactly once? So once you've chopped a tree, it's exhausted and you can never chop it again. Turns out, did the math, can't get very far. So the next question was, how do we add a mechanism that lets you respawn things after they've been exhausted? And I thought about the bonfires from Dark Souls. You rest at a bonfire, everything respawns. So here's the pitch. We start locked to some number of chunks in the game. I have to exhaust all of the content in those chunks exactly once. Then I get to randomly select a new chunk. When I pass into the new chunk, I rest at a bonfire, respawning all of the exhausted entities in the old chunks. Now I have to do all of that again in the new chunk and the old chunks. The general goal is to just see how far we can take this. I'd like to unlock all the chunks in RuneScape, but I think that's going to take about 10,000 hours to complete. And this account is, by necessity, much more experimental than most Snowflake Iron accounts. This is the part of the video where I speak the forbidden RuneScape words. This account has a flexible rule set, and you click off the video in a rage. But in all seriousness, we need to have flexible rules for the account concept to even work. If you want to check out my rationale for all the existing rules, check out the Google Doc in the description. Let's get to the playthrough. I am very rusty when it comes to old school RuneScape right now, and a lot of things have happened since episode 52 from my perspective. Perhaps most notably, forestry has launched. I get a lot of YouTube comments asking, how are you going to deal with forestry on the bonfire account? And the answer is I don't really know. I think we're just going to have to experiment with it. My inkling compared to the way we handle other content is to just go ahead and chop one of each tree in each chunk and then do any forestry events that spawn with no additional double dipping restriction on the events. The thought being that I'm already restricted on how many trees I'm allowed to chop, so it would be silly to also add a restriction on event completions. But for this cycle, I'm going to record all of the events that I do, because I can always make up for it later. If I, end up doing too many events or we think that it's too powerful, I can always go back and make up for it in future cycles by skipping events until I make up for them. But for now, I just want to figure out, okay, if I'm chopping every tree exactly once, how many events does that actually generate, right? But this is going to be a bit of a mystery episode. If you'll recall, last episode we rolled the Desert Cave chunk, which is a pretty boring reroll chunk. And I did not go and do it or roll a new chunk afterwards, so we're going to open with that here. I have no idea what to expect. I haven't done any of my usual resetting of RuneLight, because I'm going to wait to do that until we actually have a new cycle to start and a bonfire to light. Let's pop over to the Desert Cave chunk. Oh, it's so good to be back in old school RuneScape. I've been playing a lot of RS3, and the game is fun. RS3 is fine, but old school is so much better in almost every conceivable way. The movement feels better, the world looks nicer, it's just preferable on almost every level. Everything still shows as exhausted. We're technically still in the prior cycle since we haven't actually gotten to a new chunk roll where I'm going to be lighting a bonfire. Man, it's so good to be back where the air is clean, the water is pure. Old school RuneScape, how I miss thee. So I think I said that this Desert Cave chunk was quite a bit more interesting than it actually is. I think that all I can do is just wander into this threshold here. I've already been able to kill crocodiles and jackals, and I can't get across the river to actually do anything else elsewhere in the chunk. So this isn't going to be super exciting. Let's go ahead and cross the fog wall though. A little rusty with doing that, but there we go. We are now in this chunk, and the only thing for me to do really here is to kill these jackals and this crocodile. When I try to punch them, I forgot to bring any equipment because I'm stupid. But it's old school RuneScape and it's fine. This is less fine in RS3 if you forget to bring equipment. All right, crocodiles down. I'm not sure if I can get to these other crocodiles that are in the water. I might need to bring a ranged weapon to do that, which I'll do, I suppose. Jackals, previously I could pull them over the chunk border, but now I don't have to, so that's nice. Welcome back to old school RuneScape. We got a maze random. Yeah, let's do it. Oh, I miss random events. This is a really good one to get to. I haven't had very many of them on this account. It's 68 reward potential, almost nice, or 67. Not bad for not having played for a while. 184 death runes, 368 chaos runes, 1100 iron arrows. All right, I'll take it. I'm gonna leave and come back really quick with a bow. All right, back with a bow this time. Will it let me attack the crocodiles? Oh, right. I have to deal with this. This is fine. Let's see if I can attack the crocodile in the water and if it can come to me. I can't attack it and it can't reach me, and I think I can only telegraph its drops, which my knowledge, are only bones, so I'll just hit the ones that I can reach, I guess. There's a total of 7 crocodiles possible in this chunk and 14 jackals. I think the bulk of the jackals are on the other side of the river, so I'm not going to get anywhere near that many here. Yeah, technically the crocodiles in the river are almost like the ducks in Lumbridge. They don't drop anything because they're in the water. Oh man, I forgot I can prayer flick here. I hate not being able to prayer flick in RS3. Like, it's such a cool little teensy bit of skill cap when you're doing content, and to have it taken away from you kind of sucks over there. Oh, hey, range 65. Didn't realize I was that close. Well, this one actually comes on the land. That's interesting. Okay, I think I just killed the last jackal. I don't think I can reach that crocodile. Every time I try to click it, no matter how close to the shore it is, I end up trying to path across the river, which is not what I want. I'm going to try to stand near the shore to grab it one more time. But if I can't get it, we'll move on. All right, I was able to tag it by using long range, but then it backs up out of the range where I can hit it. So I don't think it's possible for me to attack it from here. So I've done as much of this chunk as I possibly can do. I guess there's technically a rug merchant here. Does this go anywhere I haven't been before? So that's a way to get to Narda, which is technically an adjacent chunk, but an adjacent chunk I wouldn't otherwise be able to access. So I think that makes Narda a rollable chunk. These two I think I previously expected would be rollable, but they're not because I can't cross the river. So yeah, that's all I can do over there. Let's pop back to the chunk roller and see what we get. All right, here's the chunk map. I just went over this last episode, so not a lot to talk about. I did add Narda as a rollable chunk because we could take the carpet there now. Previously was not accessible. Let's go ahead and pick the chunk, see what we get. Falador West Wall. That is a reroll. I marked it as a reroll. I've done Dark Wizards before. There's copper, coal, dead trees, iron rocks, oaks, an easy stash. Oh, there's a shooting star here. That's kind of cool. Tin rocks, trees, and willows. All right. But nothing here is new. So I'll go there, do all those things, and we'll roll another one. I might actually encounter forestry for the first time because of the trees here. So again, what I'm just going to do, I'm going to chop all these trees, and if a forestry event spawns, I'll just do it. And I'll keep track of all the forestry events I do by the end of the cycle. We'll summarize them and then discuss whether we think that's reasonable for future cycles or not. Okay, well, I had to do some research, like, do I need to do anything for forestry to work? And I do. I got to talk to this friendly forester guy who gives me a backpack that I can use, a forestry kit. It's free. Okay, so buy one forestry kit, and I think everything else here costs money, and I'm not going to stare at these too much until I've actually done a little bit of this. Probably not going to get the lumberjack set from this guy, but it's interesting that I technically could, since temple trekking is very far off. Okay, so I'm probably going to have this forestry kit on me for a while now. I don't know if this means I need to carry secateurs with me, or if it's still just an axe. We'll see. All right, here at the chunk threshold again, let's go ahead and cross. Go through the fog wall. I'm still really rusty at getting that transition to happen smoothly. Unlock a new music track, Arrival. So yeah, lots of trees here, some dark wizards. Try to track them down. There's another way into Falador. I don't know if I recognize this chunk terribly. I doubt very many people have ever used this mine over here. Maybe I'll start with that. So I can technically get into Falador? Kind of. But only like a sliver of it over here, most of which is not interesting. No shops or anything to my knowledge. Well, I do need to sneak over here because this is where the easy stash is that I need to build. So let's build that right now. Okay. I'll end up reviewing the task list for this in the previous chunk once we actually get to the chunk roll, because I got a lot of rune light maintenance I have to do to prepare for when we actually have a bonfire to light. Yes, technically there are some guards that might wander off the chunk border over here that I could pickpocket or attack, but I'm not going to stress out about that since they technically don't spawn here. I can see into the hairdresser's shop and into the bank here, but I can't actually go there. So the only task there was to do on this side of the wall was searching that stash. And I guess this crumbling wall technically generates 1 XP. Obviously I can't abuse it, but I can use it to come over here and back once per cycle. Yes, I'm going to go ahead and start with the Dark Wizards here. I'm going to have to do a lot of running to the bank over in Berthorpe since I can't quite get to the bank in Falador here. So I'll just kill all these guys, then I'll probably do the mining, and then we'll work on woodcutting. These guys do look different from the Dark Wizards outside Varrock, but they have the same level thresholds, and I'm pretty sure the same drops, but I'll just double check to make sure that they are in fact different entities. Yeah, they're not different entities. They have the same drop table as the ones outside Varrock. Really never fought these guys before. I think you come here for like a quest. It might be Dragon Slayer 1 or something, and then never again. There's some more on this upper floor here that I'm working through now. I believe this NPC up here, Xandar Horfire, is only used in quests, and by himself doesn't really matter for anything. Whoa! Okay, I wasn't even recording this. I was talking to the guy in the tower, and he said, get out of here. And I'm like, okay. And I'll just go demonstrate it again. But he like warps you. I don't know if he always warps you here. I'm glad he warped me to a chunk I already have unlocked, because that would have been a mistake otherwise. Let me read the wiki article on that guy. Did you know that guy in that tower, if you talk to him and are snippy with him, he teleports you all the way out here? I didn't. That's news to me. Okay, I checked the wiki and it says he always warps you to the Lumbridge Swamp if you give him lip. That's crazy. So fortunately, I already had that chunk unlocked, but that would have been kind of an interesting possible rollable chunk if for some reason I hadn't rolled that chunk already. What a weird method of travel. All right, so I've got a discrepancy on the enemy count. My loot logger here, I haven't reset it yet since we haven't hit a bonfire. Like I said, this is still technically part of the previous cycle. But the chunk picker says there's only 13 dark wizards here, and I feel like there should be more like 15 according to the wiki. The wiki disagrees. I'm just going to count really carefully here. Yeah, it should be 15. There's this one I didn't kill yet, so I'm going to finish him off. Yeah, it's definitely 15. The wiki is right, and I killed 2 on the rest of my cycle, so 15 plus 2 is 17. So I'll let the chunk picker dev know about that. Yeah, so you talk to this guy, you say, who are you? My name is Xandar Horfire. You are trespassing my tower, not to mention attacking my students. I thank you to leave immediately. So if you say, I think I'll stay for a bit, he warps you to the Lumbridge Swamp. All right, got all my dark wizards dead. Let's go ahead and start mining this ore, and then I'll bring it over to Berthorpe to bank it. And actually, I didn't prepare very well here. I forgot to bring my celestial ring, so I'll do wood cutting instead. I'm going to start with the regular trees. Okay, so there should be 64 dead trees and 31 regular trees for a total of 95 regular trees. So I'm going to start working on it now. We'll see. I'll report in if any of these trigger a forestry event. Man, I am so out of practice with old school. I didn't even bring a knife here for fletching the logs into arrow shafts. That's fine. This is how we learn. I think we got another messed up tree here where I can't chop both of these because they're on top of each other. All right, that tree is inaccessible, the one in the back there. Another inaccessible tree here near the chunk border. I can probably get it when I roll the chunk next to it. That'll keep me from 100%ing this chunk right now. I technically can't reach it. Just a random hollow tree over here. I don't think you can do anything with it. Can't like cut it or anything. Weird. All right, so I left and got a knife so that I can fletch these logs. Still working through the regular trees here. There's a bunch I'm not going to be able to get that are on the chunk border. Starting to suspect regular trees don't trigger forestry in any way. It might only be repeatedly choppable trees like oaks. It makes me wonder if this is even going to come up in non 100% complete chunks, because it might not be possible for you to see an event on your first chop. You might need to require multiple chops on the tree, right? That tree in there is another one I can't get to, the one in between here and the fence. Targeting some of these is still really annoying. Yeah, so this is a bit of a bummer. There's a couple trees that are just completely inaccessible because of their location, but there's only one tree in the entire chunk that I can't get to because of the chunk border, and it's that one. I should be able to cut that from there, but I can't, and for that reason I will not be able to 100% complete this chunk, which means I'll have to chop all these trees on future cycles until we roll the chunk to the south. Bummer. This tiny tree here is also trapped. I don't think I can get to any of the other trees back here. I might be able to hit this one. Let's see. No. Okay, I think all the trees that are in here I can't physically touch. I could try getting there on that side where that wizard is standing. Let me check. Okay, I am able to get to this one on the back side, but then I think these tiles are blocked, so the remaining trees are not accessible. Might be it for the regular trees. I'm just going to run around and do a quick count. I missed one over this way. Still have some more standalone regular trees up here. Yeah, it looks like my count's right. There are 5 trees I physically can't access, and 1 tree that I will be able to access when I roll the southern chunk. And no forestry events from doing regular trees, so that kind of sucks. All right, I'm going to go ahead and fletch these logs, mine these, because I'm going to have to go bank them, and then I'll start working on the other trees. All right, finished mining everything. Now I just have to work on there are 6 oaks and 11 willows, so this is where I might actually encounter forestry, but we'll find out if I'm able to encounter it on a first swipe at the tree or not. Okay, so I did get some oak leaves falling to the ground that I placed in the forestry kit, apparently. Oak leaves... Yeah, okay, so one thing happened. I just got some willow leaves as well, so whatever leaves end up doing, I haven't gotten any events to spawn yet. Maybe like silence the sound effect from chopping. I'm not hearing the normal sound effects I'd expect here. All right, yeah, no forestry events with 11 willow trees and 6 oaks. I think I'm done with this chunk? Oh, there is somebody mining over here. What do you know? I guess it's not that far from a bank. I think I'm done with this chunk. I've killed everything there is to kill. Let me just double check the chunk picker really fast before we roll another one. Yep, double checked, chopped all the regular trees, willows, oaks, mined all of these ore, and killed all of the dark wizards. That's all there is to do, so let's roll a new chunk. Oh, and I guess also built the easy stash over there. All right, you just heard me gab about this. Let's just pick a new chunk. Thing new is rollable from here. We could already get to Entrana, which isn't adjacent anyway, and to the Crafting Guild and to West Falador. Ooh. Arduin Market. Yeah, I had that as one that I wanted. This is almost certainly... This is a bonfire chunk. This is not a reroll. Yeah, I think one of the big reasons we want this is I can finally do Enter the Abyss now. If I can do Enter the Abyss, that means that I can do the Guardians of the Rift runecraft minigame, which is going to greatly increase the amount of runecraft XP I get every cycle. Lots of interesting new things here. Paladins, heroes. There's obviously the Arduin Knights. Shops. I think some of these shops are potentially even interesting. I have a lot of research I got to do. I don't know if I'm going to be able to 100% complete the chunk. Yeah, I probably can't build that elite stash. No quests. I got a lot of research to do, so I got to also get everything reset over here. There's Arduin sewers. Okay, yeah, be back soon. All right, y'all, I am very grateful for this teeny tiny sliver that's going to let us get into the Arduin market here. Let's go ahead and cross the fog wall. It occurs to me that I forgot to bring a tinderbox and logs, so I'll just stop in the bank once we get through the wall. Here we are. Arduin, thanks to a single tile wide, barely accessible sliver. I'm gonna pop into this bank really fast, then we'll light the bonfire. Here we got the new music track Baroque here. Here we go. Excellent, and rest at it. Everything has respawned. All right, so yeah, this is Arduin. Lots of interesting things here, lots of things we can't do for many different reasons. I think this chunk will remain incomplete for an extremely long time, if only because of the RD rooftop course, which is 90 agility, which I don't think this account will ever see. Go ahead and show you the list of tasks here. Here we go for Arduin. I may actually back up really quick to the chunks I just did. I usually try to show you these a little bit earlier. So the deserted cave had 7 crocodiles, 14 jackals. I could only actually kill 2 of them practically and 3 jackals. Falador West Wall, these are the counts. You'll notice there's this new color now. There's red, green, and yellow. This is something that I asked the region goal tracker dev to add, so I can track the difference between something that I can do but haven't done yet for the cycle versus something I have completed versus something that's blocked, unable to be completed. So I'm marking, I can't do all of the dead trees because there's one dead tree I can't get to in Falador West Wall, right? That sums up the ones we just did. I'm just gonna mark them yellow now since we just lit the bonfire. Those tasks are back. I can go ahead and delete the easy stash because it's not relevant anymore. All right, so in Arduin, we've got grizzly bears, which I clearly can't get to because they're in the zoo. I don't think I'm allowed to shoot them through 2 layers of gate, but I guess I could try before I mark them impossible. 11 guards, 4 guard dogs, 3 heroes, 4 knights of Arduin, 2 paladins, 2 unicorns, 2 warriors. I can pickpocket the guards. My pickpocketing, my thieving is not high enough to pickpocket the heroes. It's close to being high enough to pickpocket the paladins. That's 70 thieving, so that might be possible. There's a bunch of stalls that I can steal from. I don't have a high enough thieving level for the gem stall. There's a small number of trees, the elite stash that I'm nowhere near being able to build, the RD rooftop course that's going to keep this as a blocked chunk, and then a bunch of shops that I'm going to be able to buy from exactly once. And then because I can't 100% the chunk, they won't have a refreshing stock. So I'm going to start exploring around. I expect to get some shooting stars soon though, so I might kick out to work on shooting stars. Guess I should probably just start with killing things. Let me get some melee gear for that. Yes, before I get to meleeing, can I shoot these grizzly bears through the double fence? I sure can. No kidding. All right, well then they are in fact reachable. I thought I'd have to be next to the initial fence. It looks like it's quite annoying, like it tries to path me around, but I should be able to take care of them. And I'll do the same for the unicorns. It's tempting to telegrab the unicorn horns since there's a limited number of those that I can get each cycle, but I don't know, that might not be worth the law runes, even though they come much easier for me now. Big shout out to the region locker dev for adding this block versus unblocked task thing. It really makes it easier for me to eyeball which of these things I can actually do in a cycle. All right, bears are down, working on the unicorns. Could I have technically shot them? No, are the unicorns special? Can they just not be shot through the gate at all? Oh, that's really interesting. Maybe because they're by a fairy ring that you can use to access them? Yeah, I don't seem to be able to shoot them for whatever reason. That's really strange. All right, well, I'll block those then. These heroes have a level 69. Nice. I don't think they have particularly exciting drops. Yeah, they just drop bones. That's too bad. These guard dogs technically count for a dog slayer task, but I already had access to that via jackals. Looks like some of these guard dogs are not accessible. That one spawns on the side of the building, and I can't get back there without having access to this chunk, presumably. Although, maybe not at all? No, it looks like I can get a bit around the back for those two. All right. So realistically, I can only actually get to 2 of these dogs. Make that 3. This one wanders into the chunk. I'm going to first paladin here. I think they also have no drop table. The guards do. Oh no, they drop stuff. Steel bars and mithril bars. Huh. Weird. Oh, interesting. There's an iron mace spawn in here, but I can't actually get into this building because the door is locked. I can pick the lock? Oh my god, that was not listed as a task. Okay, I'll have to check to see if there's other comparable things like that. Iron mace door, I guess I'll add it as a task. There's chests up here too, which I don't think were listed. Search for traps. I don't know how many of these there are. There might just be these 2. It's a nature rune trap. Okay. So I can only do each of these once per cycle. Went ahead and added both of those onto the tracker here. I'm gonna have to be really careful and search all the other houses. There are a lot of places that have like decorative chests, but the chunk picker doesn't specify if they're special like they are here apparently. Oh, there's more. Interesting. Oh, shit. Activated a trap. Most of these just have a small amount of money in them. And no chests on this side. Okay. Not going to do it right now, but Wizard Property is the reason I'm super excited about this chunk, even though it's not super exciting otherwise. I'll finally be able to finish Enter the Abyss after all this time, which is an insane unlock. I think it also lets me get into the Abyss, which is potentially a source of a bunch of talismans I currently don't have access to. It might be really annoying. Might take me a while to get 1 kill out of everything down there, but okay, I don't think these chests are real or able to be accessed. Okay, so I've had this issue before where the chunk picker says a certain amount of guards should be expected, and then there are fewer of them that are actually here. I've only found 7 guards, but it says there should be 11, and I wouldn't be surprised if some of those are from Dead Man Worlds, so I'll check in with the chunk picker guy. Yeah, Wiki agrees with me. There should be 7, so I'll update the count over here. 7, not 11. Probably a dead man problem. All right, so done killing everybody. I'm going to start working on pickpocketing, just confirming I cannot pick Paladin's pockets, although I might be able to by the end of this cycle. I think it's possible I'll hit 70 thieving. We'll see. All right, the guards and the Arty Knights are done. This should be my last warrior. Then I have to work on the stalls. I think it's just chopping trees and checking out the Arduin sewer. I think the only stall ever stolen from here is the baker's stall on a bunch of accounts. There are 2 of them, technically, one that no one ever steals from on the opposite side. Actually, most of these stalls are really annoying to steal from, it turns out. I don't think it logs anything that I see. Yeah, I don't get like a loot logger for this. Do the silk stall, maybe? Okay. There are 2 silk stalls, though. I could sell all that silk I've been buying from Al Kharid from a long time, but I don't think it's going to add up to very much money. I will go ahead and buy this unstrung symbol. I think I can craft one, but no, right, I need to get money. Hold on. Gotta get you. This is not RS3. I don't have a currency pouch. That should cover it. I think I can craft one of these, but I need to get the monastery unlocked to be able to actually turn it into a holy symbol. It took me forever, and I had to trap the knight and the paladin in the house down here, but I was able to steal from the silver stall. I still have to get the second baker's stall, the second silk stall. This is more annoying than I was expecting. Let's trap more guards, I guess. All right, second baker's stall took really long, but I ended up getting it by trapping this guard behind that stall. I couldn't actually get him into the house. Okay, so I still need to do the second silk stall. Can't do the gem stall yet, but I should be able to do, or either gem stall. I should be able to do the spice stall and the fur stall. Okay, got the fur stall. I think the spice stall is so useless. Wonder if they originally had plans for spice to matter later in the game. It's in like a couple gnome restaurant recipes, but I think that's about it. The only vantage point to steal from the second silk stall is like in the dead center of the marketplace where all the guards are. So I don't even know if that's possible without luring literally all of them. Oh, I just barely got it. Wow, that was tough. I just had to wait for the exact right moment when none of them were near me. Okay, I think that's it for thieving. I've got some wood cutting to do, some shops to check out, although I've just invalidated the majority of the shops by stealing from them. I'm probably not going to buy out the majority of these. The plate mill shop is probably worth buying out just to bring to Giant's Foundry, but since this shop stock's not going to come back, it's not a huge priority, I guess. Item spawns aren't terribly interesting. There's that iron mace that I already picked up. There's this garlic here. I'll go ahead and mark the table. Apparently the guidebook is what you need to solve the tribal totem quest, which I can actually do. I have the Brimhaven chunk where it starts, and then I can finish all of it in this chunk. So I don't really need that. It doesn't unlock anything. It doesn't really give a good reward, but I guess it's more quest points, which is helpful. I wish I could do Mahogany Homes contracts, but I have to talk to Amy first. Once I get Falador unlocked, I think that's gonna be a big deal. There's a contract location here. Item spawns are chisel, garlic, guidebook, hammer, and iron mace. So I'm looking for the chisel and the hammer, just for completion's sake on this first visit here. Oh, apparently the chisel and the hammer are in Wizard Cromperty's room, which is interesting. I guess there's a master clue step for Cromperty. This is the one where you have to have like 100 magic attack to do the master clue step, and the clue, which I'm sure nobody ever reads, is that it's the guy with the hammer and chisel in his room who's also a mage. Okay, items are done. I'll come back to the shops. I guess I can just mark them complete. I'm not going to buy them all out. We have checked their stocks. I reviewed them, and I track whether or not I bought out limited stocks in a spreadsheet. So now it's time to just do trees. Let me wrap these up here. I've got 8 oaks to work through. Very interested to learn if it's even possible for me to see events for forestry if I'm only tapping the tree a single time. It seems like the chance for them to spawn goes up like substantially if you're around other players, but 99.99% of the trees I'm going to be chopping, no one ever chops ever. All right, oak trees are down. I'm going to go bank and then do these 28 regular trees. And then I think the only thing left in the new chunk is the sewer. I turned my time played plugin back on. I think this is useful to have, but unfortunately, if I go to hide my UI, it is like not hidden. Maybe I can open that as a request for them. All right, so I suspect some of the trees are actually impossible to reach, namely the ones in the pens here. I could get to these if I had a fairy ring, so those aren't technically impossible to reach, but these dead trees are probably impossible. In fact, all 10 of the dead trees are in that pen, so none of those are possible. I'm just gonna remove it because it's not a real task. This is the last tree I can do, so it's a total of 15 regular trees that are possible. I'm gonna go ahead and update my tracker here to reflect that. Okay, as you can see on the right there, we're as done as we can be, minus the things that I can't finish. So let's go pop down into the Arduin sewers. I've got a few things to kill down there and some iron and coal to mine. I don't think I've ever been in the Arduin sewers. Maybe like very briefly for a quest. I think Rat Catchers goes down there. Keep forgetting stuff. I forgot that I have the Varrock armor now. I should always have that on when I'm mining. I didn't have that when I was doing the Falador West Wall chunk earlier. Oh well, it's a minor loss. Okay, so the sewers over here. I think I'm gonna be able to 100% complete this one, which just means I won't have to kill the zombies or the rats. I might still kill the zombies until I get the champion scroll. Yeah, I don't think I've ever been down here. I think there's a biohazard or plague city or something. One of those quests takes you down here to get you to West Arduin, but not this part of the sewer. This is not familiar at all. That's kind of crazy. All right, we'll start by killing dudes. Oh my God, please be a maze random again. Oh my show, get out of here. Hey, future Marstead, real quick, I hear some of you screaming. The changes to random events that make more random events drop lamps had not yet been implemented at time of recording, and also the changes to shooting stars. I barely missed it. I finished recording this episode like right before that change went in. I know every Snowflake Iron in the last month or so has been commenting on the random event thing. It is huge for this account, but you'll hear me talk about it next episode. All right, we got all the giant rats down. I've only found 2 of the regular rats, I think. Gotta find the zombies, the iron, and the coal. This door is locked. Did it really? No kidding. What's back here? I wonder if this even gives like thieving XP. Yeah, it does. Okay, I'll add a task for it, I guess. Okay, I found the last rat here. A little bit of overkill. Here's our zombies, of which there are 3. Oh wait, no, there are 5 regular rats. Okay, so there's a couple more on the side. All right, zombies are dead. Working through the ore down here now. All right, I managed to mine everything over here, but it says there should be 5 coal, and I've only mined 3. 1, 2, 3. Mark that one done. Maybe it's deeper in. This place is crazy. I've never been here before. This door is locked, but it's not a pickable lock. What is over there? What the hell? Okay, that's the rat catcher's place, right? Which I think is somewhere I cannot get to right now. If I look at the Gielinor surface, Oh, I can't, yeah, I can't compare. Okay, so I can't get into that side of the sewers. So I don't think I can actually complete this at all, unless if there's more ore that I'm missing. It says 5 iron, 5 coal. What am I missing here? Is that just like wrong? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, there's 2 that are, okay. I'm just an idiot. Cool. I will be able to finish it because I've killed all the rats. And all right, that was the last piece of coal. We're done. Arduin sewers are complete. Victory achieved. I will not be coming back here. Well, I'll actually, that's not true. I'll be mostly coming back here. I will kill the zombies again until I get the champion scroll, and I will mine the iron and the coal. So, but I can skip 8 giant rats. Hooray! Just 100% confirming. I did count that I have 5 rats. There are no rats down in the rat pit section, surprisingly. So we are in fact done. Okay, that's it for the new chunk. And now for like 55 hours of other stuff. All right, time to look at the chunk map for this episode. There's a time code in the description if you want to get right back to the playthrough. Hitting on 18% of RuneScape unlocked so far, and we're going to start by talking about 100% completed chunks. These are chunks in which we've done everything there is to do at least once, which makes all of the content in them optional, and also grants a couple skilling perks. We can chop all trees until they deplete, fish all fishing spots until the spot moves, interact with all thieving nodes 28 times each, mine shooting stars to depletion, run agility courses until a Mark of Grace spawns, and buy out these shop stocks in these completed chunks. Now, I reported on these in last episode, but they actually only start applying in this episode. You'll see we have a new shooting star down in Mistalin. It's in the Varrock East Bank chunk. And also the Varrock rooftop course is now able to be ran repeatedly until a Mark of Grace spawn. We can also steal from the T-stall in Varrock 28 times, but it's like inconsequential, as are most pickpocketing upgrades on this account. Thieving is very slow, even with this rule, to make it even feasible at all. After 100% completed chunks, we have quest blocked chunks. We don't need to directly finish quests to 100% complete chunks, but they can indirectly block us from completing a chunk. For example, because we can't do Alfred Grimhand's bar crawl, we can't get into the Barbarian Agility course, which is an exhaustible task, so that chunk is technically quest blocked. We landed on a compromise with quests and chunk completion where, while I don't actually need to finish the quest to consider the chunk complete, I do need to meet all of the prerequisites for the quest that starts in that chunk. So for example, I can't finish the Lumbridge chunk because I don't have the quest points necessary to do all of Recipe for Disaster. After quest blocked chunks, we have skill blocked chunks. The construction marked chunks require master stashes, which I'll probably never have a high enough construction level to build on this account. The Slayer blocked chunk is because Rag and Bone Man starts there, and I need 40 Slayer to complete it. That's the last thing I need, so I'm calling it skill blocked rather than quest blocked. All of the agility blocked chunks have rooftop courses in them that I don't qualify for yet. It's somewhat possible that I'll get the Sears Village and Polnobnich ones, maybe. Probably unlikely that I'll get the Arduin rooftop course, unless if I get some crazy new source of agility XP. And at the bottom there, the pest control chunk is blocked by the fact that I don't have a high enough combat level to do the veteran lander. I want to get that 100 combat level as soon as possible, because more cycles with the veteran lander completed equals more pest control points, equals more possibility that I might actually get some pieces of a void set. On the topic of skills, Slayer is still blocked. I have a Desert Lizard task that I can't re-roll. I need to roll one of these 3 chunks in red to be able to do that. After skill blocked chunks, we've got item blocked chunks. I need a specific item to complete these. I still need teak planks to build a stash in the dig site exam center proper. I also still need a bird snare and a big fishing net to do those 2 chunks down in Soul Isle. And finally, chunk blocked chunks. I can't complete these because there's content that I physically can't access because I have to roll an adjacent chunk first. We just rolled 2 of these. One of these is the Desert Cave chunk because I can't get over the river to the main part of the chunk to kill all the jackals and the crocodiles. The other one is the West Falador Wall chunk. I can do everything there except there's a single tree on the border that I can't quite reach, and it's blocking me from 100% completing it, so I'm going to have to chop everything there every single cycle until we roll that southern chunk. And that is it for the overview. Let's get back to the playthrough. I should hopefully be getting a shooting star somewhat soon. It would be nice to get that sweet AFK back. Something about the way that RS3 is designed, like, there's no intense AFK really like that outside of a couple very isolated activities. Got my first shooting star of the cycle. I'm running a little late on it. It's like already 20 minutes into its spawn, so I don't think I'll get a full 2 hours out of it, but Hopefully I can get some progress here, get some editing done. So I'm here at my, I'm working through updating my tasks here while I do some more shooting stars. A second person showed up almost immediately to this star, and it's a tier 3 star, which is normally like really disheartening because it means it goes from being about 2 hours of AFK to 1 hour of AFK. But I was jaded about old school RuneScape. RS3 is so much more attentive than old school is on average. They've managed to work here's a little reward for being attentive things into almost every skilling method in the game. So I will take an hour of AFK. I mean, 2 hours would be great, but an hour is insane when the most inattentive thing I usually do in RS3 is like, I can look away for a few seconds, maybe a couple minutes at most. Still working through my shooting stars here. I'm like 6 stars into the cycle, including this one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Doing decently on Stardust right now, getting a lot of stream work and editing done, which is something I greatly missed. So happy to be back at it. I don't think I'm going to come anywhere close to a mining level up. Well, I guess, but mining levels don't really matter anymore. There's nothing really left to unlock other than 99 mining, so I'm not like freaking out about it. Hey, I got a dunce random. It's nice to see one of these. I think I'm putting it on Herblore now. Either that or Slayer. It's hard to say. I literally can't train Slayer, but I can technically train Herblore, so it's kind of a hard choice. I guess getting to 40 Slayer would let me finish the Sylvaria chunk, so maybe I'll put it on Slayer until I get to 40, and then maybe I'll swap to Herblore from there. Not quite enough for a level up there. Got a Beekeeper random here. This is a little bit less important now that I can get guaranteed flax every cycle, but it's still way more flax than I can get. Like, a single Beekeeper random gives me more flax than I have access to in Taverley or Fremennik. I'm really just focused on shooting stars this cycle. I need the AFK. I'm so far behind on editing and stream work right now. This one here, I just started the West Swamp, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to go after this one. Got the Wilderness Star over here. It's a tier 8, which is great. I will almost certainly get 2 full hours out of this guy. Across the threshold while I was AFKing over here, but I just hit 1,500 hours played. I think that's pretty true. I've done very little like bank standing or leaving the game online with this account. Once or twice is pretty penalizing since there's a 25-minute logout timer. If I forget to log out, it counts against me, but I think I have legitimately played very close to 1,500 hours with this account, which is crazy. I got a bunch of clue scrolls here from shooting stars that at least I can do the first steps of. One of them involves storing the pink skirt and pink robe top in the Grand Exchange. I've already built that stash, but I haven't filled it yet, so I'm gonna do that really quick. Oh, never mind. I can't get the pink robe top. For some reason I thought that the Salia sold it, but it's Gnome Stronghold. Yeah, so I guess there's a medium clue step here at Hazelmere's, which makes this chunk a little bit less lame to have rolled. It's kind of annoying we had to do an entire cycle because of this stupid chunk. And the next one's in Morton. That's not happening. This step really sucks in RS3 because the map doesn't actually mark where it is, and there's no rune light to help you find the dig location. All right, this is a new shooting star that I'm only now able to mine to depletion due to completing this chunk last cycle. It's the Varrock East Bank, so it's pretty unlikely I'm going to get a full 2 hours out of it. I think someone else is almost certainly going to just pop by it and start mining it, but we'll see what happens. Yep, as expected, I got swarmed here, but it's not a huge deal. Still got about an hour out of it, so that's not too bad. Holy moly, it's 93 mining. Very nice. Here are what should be my last star for this cycle. Fortunately, it's only a tier 2, but I'll mine it down here and then we can start working on something other than shooting stars. Oh my goodness, another maze random. I might be close to having more than 10 maze randoms lifetime in this account now. Definitely the most important and rarest random event that I've gotten on this account. I need them so badly for coal, but they just never spawn for me for some reason. That's not so great. Iron arrows and 402 chaos runes. So well, somebody else showed up, but it was with only 2 minutes left on the star, so I still got about as much time as I was going to get out of it. A little bit over an hour and 15 minutes. After this, I think I'm just going to do mining. I'm just do all my mining tasks at once. I need to like be able to have a ton of attention to provide to the game for when I do forestry, so I can log all the events I encounter and that sort of a thing. About as lucky as I can get with other people showing up with like 20 seconds remaining. All right, let's go just do regular mining. Holy moly, that's 2 mazes in a row. Is RNG finally catching up and giving me maze randoms? All right, come on, can I get coal? I've gotten 3 this cycle already. Hey, 73 coal. Excellent. and get back to mining here. Notice this a little bit late, but I have 61 identified minerals, which help you with mining silver, coal, and gold. I think I talked about them in a recent episode. I'm going to go ahead and get the gloves. Unfortunately, I'm already done with silver, coal, and gold for the cycle. So they'll help me out next cycle, but that's okay. Still be pretty useful. I have minerals to trade. I need the regular mining gloves. Here we go. Collection log, mining gloves. I'll just wear those when I'm mining. I know it doesn't help for anything other than the things I'm already done with, but whatever, it's fine. Okie doke, just finished mining up all the amethyst down here. I'm going to head off to do pay dirt next. I could get really lucky with gold nuggets this time and unlock the upper level, which would be insane for this account. All right, I'm here at my first round of pay dirt deposits. Please be lucky. That's not very lucky. I need to get about 1 nugget per deposit, so I don't think I'm going to see it this cycle. Clarify, I need to get 3 nuggets every time I check the sack because that has 3 deposits in it, right? So I'm below average. It's been a really good cycle for me in terms of random event luck. I think I've had like 3 beekeeper randoms. So much flax. Okay, second full sack. Yeah, that's on the average, but we're not going to get enough for this cycle. All right, this is the last the pay dirt for the cycle, and no nuggets. Okay. Yeah, so I only got 5 total nuggets this cycle. I need 9 to get the upper level, so might not get it next cycle either. That's too bad. Okay, I'm nearly done with mining, heading over to the dig site to do soil. I might stop doing this at some point, but right now it returns a lot of effective bars at Giant's Foundry. So it's pretty worth it, and I don't think there are any other accounts that give a shit about this. It's really cool that I care about it, and that it actually does matter. So just my first trip to soil, I'm just reveling still in old school RuneScape. RS3 like has a lot of missing quality of life improvements, like shift click to drop. So I had a little bit of muscle memory from RS3 to manually right click drop everything, and I'm like, wait a minute, I'm in the land where the air is clean and the waters are pure. I can just shift click. It made it much faster. All right, finished all the soil. 18 damaged armor, 16 broken armor, 17 rusty swords. It's all right. Be pretty good once I convert them over into plate bodies later on towards the end of the cycle. But I'm completely done with mining tasks now. This is complete. I think I probably have enough time to start working on woodcutting. As far as I can tell, regular logs don't apply at all to forestry. So I kind of want to work on forestry stuff. Let's see. I'm positive that forestry works with willow trees, but I want to make sure I have time to do all of the activities associated with these. So I'm gonna like start by working on the trees that I have the fewest of. So in this case, magic trees, and then yew trees. Yeah, just to see if I can trigger some events, because I haven't even seen an event yet. Okay, the magic trees, I only have 2 of them, and I can chop them until they turn into stumps. So we'll see if I get an event here. This is a tree that I might conceivably be able to ask for like help with, because I know that more people chopping the same tree gives you bonuses to how long it sticks around and like an invisible woodcutting boost. But I don't want to like stress out about trying to like call crowds of people to help me. I think it's kind of in conflict with the spirit of the game mode. So we'll see how many events I get if I do the majority of these solo. I'm not going to go out of my way to avoid other players if I see them around, but I'm wondering why my woodcutting wasn't making any noise. I have a thing called annoyance mute that's pretty useful for certain repetitive sounds, but I apparently had it off accidentally for woodcutting, so I fixed that. Oh, this is an event, I think. Tree roots? Oh, I should see if there's a plugin for this so I can get an alert when there's an event like this. Obviously, I can just try to pay attention to it. Oh, okay, this is my first time doing this. So one of the roots has anima on it, and that's the one I want to focus on chopping first, I guess, if I can see it. I gotcha. This is actually pretty similar to a lot of the RS3 events. Okay, so we'll call this a single roots event for this magic tree. And I guess I'll also record how many resources I get each time the event comes up. This is quite a bit more robust than I was expecting. I guess it's only giving me bark as opposed to magic logs. It's got to end at some point, right? Okay. I got 6 anima infused bark and a big chunk of XP out of that. I only got 1 event, the roots event, from that first magic tree. I think whenever an event spawns, it locks out events for a certain number of tiles in, it's like 40 tiles or something radius of the first event. So depending on how long I'm chopping this, I might not see another one for magic trees at all. And it looks like the reason I can't find a forestry plugin is because there's a native, the native woodcutting plugin has notifications. So I'll use that. That's perfect. All right, finished chopping the second magic tree and did not get any events. So next I'm going to go down the list I'm going to do the next least commonly occurring depletable tree. I'm going to focus on all the depletable trees first because I think my rules are going to be less complicated for 100% completed chunks, right? Like I should just be able to do whatever events spawn since I'm already limited by the number of trees I'm allowed to chop. But so far, one event for 2 trees that took a long time to chop seems relatively reasonable. We'll see if it gets less reasonable. I'm going to do the maple trees next over in the Soul Isle. All right, so I have 11 maple trees in a completed chunk that I can deplete and 4 maple trees in an incomplete chunk that I can only tap once each. So we'll see how many events I get here. I think there might actually be some strategy here. If an event triggering blocks events in a tile radius, I like want to start from one corner and then switch to the opposite corner as soon as I get an event. Maybe. I haven't seen any events yet at maple trees. I guess if there's a cooldown, a tile-based cooldown, you could argue that anytime I get an event, I should immediately leave and come back only after that cooldown elapses. But I don't think I want to optimize this that much. I think just continuing to chop all the trees that I chop, get the events that I get, is going to be fine. I think it might even make the fact that I'm chopping at so many different trees a little bit more interesting versus just picking a single oak tree and chopping it the whole time. We'll see. About halfway through my trees here and haven't gotten a second event, so maybe they aren't spawning as crazy as I thought they were. Like one spawn almost immediately on that. This isn't quite done, so I'm gonna go bank. One spawn almost immediately on my first magic tree. I'm like, oh my god, there's gonna be a million of these events. I'm gonna get 99 woodcutting in no time. But now it's seeming a little bit more reasonable. Well, woodcutting 85 said no woodcutting levels matter until 99. I guess technically 90, but I don't think I'm gonna get to redwood trees anytime soon. I will say that regardless of whether I actually see any events, and I haven't seen one yet from these maple trees, like the changes to depletion rate are pretty massive. I've already deposited a couple of rounds of full inventories of maple logs here, which is usually not something that I can do. So I'm really interested to see the XP delta for woodcutting just from that. It might significantly inflate the time it takes me to complete a cycle if I'm going to be chopping these depletable trees for so much longer, but that also potentially gets me closer to 99 woodcutting, which is very far off. We're not even halfway there. We're only a quarter of the way there now. But if we get 99 woodcutting, that is going to make this whole account so much better because then I no longer have to chop trees and I will probably just stop, honestly. Oh, I got another event. I think I collect the green leaves. Actually, I have no idea how this event works. This is called mulch. Add mulch to the struggling sapling. Seems to love green leaves as the first ingredient, but I don't really have any inventory space. Seems to love rotting leaves as the second ingredient. Okay, so I have to like figure out what the value is here just through brute force. Okay, so it's green, red, blue, and and the game keeps track of it for me. So I should always do the ones I know that it wants, right? And then just do green, red, blue and click on the thing over and over. Glad I got a second event at least. I was worried that I wasn't going to see one at all. I think this is possible to solo. I guess we'll see. I'm trying to like compare the time limit there. This is pretty attentive though. I guess it's fortunate it doesn't happen super often. I don't think the extra inventory space matters. I have to run back around every time anyway. Okay. I'm not sure about this, but I think as long as I pass the event, I get the maximum possible XP and rewards from it. So it doesn't really matter if there were other players here or how long I took as long as I didn't run out of time, you know? Running out of run energy is pretty bad here. Even think about that. I think we're going to be okay though. There we go. Save the sapling, allow it to flourish. It appears to have a gift for you. 92 anima infused bark, 20 piles of magic leaves. Then the tree's back. Okay. Well, that's my second ever event, and I got it on the very last tree over here, so good to see. I'm going to go bank these logs and then individually chop these 4 trees and move on from maple logs. Okay, maple trees are done. I got 1 event out of all of those. So 1 event from magics, 1 event from maples. I am recording this in a spreadsheet. I'll show it at the end of the cycle just to kind of review what we've seen. I think next is going to be use. I'm going to do each of the depletable use first. The way I'm doing this is like an insanely inefficient way to do my woodcutting. I've kind of landed on a good system to get my woodcutting for the cycle done quickly, but I just want to understand forestry completely before I settle on a system. So yeah, I'm just going to do each of my yew trees to depletion in all of the various chunks and ignore all of the other trees. And then we'll move on to the willows and then the oaks. I got the roots event again here for a yew tree, the second yew tree in this chunk. It's a very interesting event that it just straight up gives you XP and I guess a bunch of anima infused bark. Yeah, I'm just also recording my total amount of bark after each event that I encounter so I can go back and tell you how much bark each event gave me total. All right, finished that event. We're up to 498 infused bark. So it seems like you get pretty comparable amount of bark for each event. I guess we'll see once I'm doing all of them relatively close to perfectly. Okay, I have finished the Ham Hideout chunk, Falador Farm, Falador South Wall in terms of doing U's. I still have only seen the one event so far. So we're going to go to South Varrock and the Lumberyard, and then I'll work through these one-shots. Or I can only chop them one time. Actually, let me do the one-chops at the Soul Hunter Isle, because it's going to be annoying to get to otherwise. I'll go ahead and bring the runes to teleport out of here, though. I have to go to Varrock next anyway. Alright, finished the yew trees here and the Soul Hunter Isle, and I stopped over in Edgeville as well. I'm not even sure I can get events from just tapping a tree once. That's really what I want to pay attention to if that ever happens, or if it requires me to be chopping it for more than a tick. We'll find out. Alright, still no events so far since that first one. So it might end up maybe I'll get a ton of events with oak trees, we'll see, because I have a lot of oak trees to go through. But this is way less frequent than I was worried it was going to be. I was worried this was going to, like, explode my woodcutting XP and kind of like call the whole mode into question, but it seems pretty reasonable so far. All right, this is my last depletable yew tree, and then I'll do the one shot in Lumbridge, and then I'll move on to willow trees. Okay, no event from the last depletable yew tree. I'm gonna check the one yew in Lumbridge that I cannot deplete. I'm starting to suspect I cannot get an event on a single chop, but I'm going to need a lot more data. I might be able to conclusively say that by the end of this cycle. It's hard to say. All right, I'm through 13 of the depletable willows and haven't gotten an event yet. I'd be surprised if I get like one event per tree type until I get to oaks, in which I'll probably see at least a couple because there's so many of them. Finally got another event here. It's been a minute. I'm almost actually done with willows, and I hadn't seen one yet at all, so don't expect to get better rewards for doing this faster, but I guess we'll find out here. That was way faster than last time. I got more bark, but not like insanely more bark, so it could still just be random. All right, this is my last depleted willow tree here. I don't think I'm gonna get an event. I have a couple one chops to do, but I'm building the thesis that you can't get events on one chops. Nope, no event. All right, so we got to go to Edgeville, Barbarian Outpost, Exam Center, South Taverley, and the Falador West Wall. All right, I only have one more one-chop willow tree. It's at the Exam Center. Okay, last willow tree one-chopper. I've seen a total of one event per type of tree so far. Just coincidentally, one from magic trees, one from yews, one from maples, one from willows. None from single choppers, so we'll see what happens with the oaks. I have more oaks than all of these combined when it comes to both depletables and single choppers. And I am going to check the regular logs. The wiki says that regular logs never spawn events, but I'll pay attention to it and see if any of them ever pop in. Okay, ready to finish up this forestry experiment. I'm going to chop all of the oak trees. I'm going to start with the one chops. There's not as many of them, and I can use that to kind of test my theory that chopping a tree one time has 0 chance of spawning a forestry event. I guess I won't be able to prove it, but it'll be pretty unlikely if none of these spawn a forestry event. Progress update on the one choppers. I'm here at the Exam Center. Have not seen an event yet. I probably need a bank here soon. My last one for this chunk. Not doing this efficiently this cycle. What I should do is get all of my construction training done before I move my house to Relica to chop trees there, but it's not a big deal. I have to teleport back here later for the regular trees, and I'm just really trying to do each tree category by themselves. So far I've chopped like 60 trees and haven't yet gotten a single event to spawn, so the theory is appearing to be true. Alright, all the one choppers are done, and I did not get a single event, so I'm not going to say that that's 100% confirmed. I'll maybe do next cycle. I'll also try to see if I can prove that, but I think it's likely. It might even be that events are only allowed to happen when the tree has been fully depleted. I can't say that for sure, though. I'm going to start working on the depletables now, of which there are many, many, many more, and this is going to take forever. Okay, so reporting generally, I'll be able to confirm this at the end of the cycle, but right now I get on average between 12 and 14 logs per oak tree. I used to get like 8 logs per oak tree, right? Because that's how it used to work. You had a 1 in 8 chance for it to deplete. So that really significantly increases the total number of logs I get. It extremely significantly increases how long it takes to bank. I only basically get 2 trees per banking trip, so the further a chunk is from a bank, the worse this is. It will affect my XP quite a bit, but it's mostly going to affect time taken to do the woodcutting part of the cycle. I have not seen a single event yet. I've only actually done the Edgeville ditch, the Varrock ditch, and now I'm working through the lumberyard very slowly. but it'll be interesting to see how many events we eventually get out of oaks. All right, this is my last tree in the lumberyard chunk. It's making me wonder if there are certain trees that just physically can't spawn events because there's not enough space for them to pop in. Right? I wonder if they only made this technically work for a handful of popular trees in popular locations. I'm not sure if they rebalanced this, but I feel like I'm getting way more bird's nests than I used to get. I'll take a look and maybe do a delta later. I just finished East Varrock with cutting down that tree. It's like 2 trees every time I have to bank. I might be getting slightly more logs than average if I cut a tree and then have to walk all the way back to the bank and then it regenerates on my walk, but I'm just not going to abuse that. All right, so I'm pretty far into this. This is taking an extremely long time. I just finished South Varrock. I have chopped about 900 oak logs if you exclude the ones that were one choppers. I haven't seen a single forestry event. So it makes me wonder if forestry event chance is like based on the tier of tree, which is why I saw one so quickly with magic log and only saw 1 for each of the other tree types. And it makes me wonder also if it's even possible for it to roll for oak trees. If I see a single event by the time I'm done with oak trees, that will be interesting data. Holy moly, finally got an event after 1,200 chops. Can't believe it finally happened. So that confirms that it's not disabled for oak trees like I thought maybe it was for a second there. Very exciting to finally see an event. I was really getting sad that maybe oaks just aren't featured at all. All right, I need to figure out how much anima I got total out of that. All right, got a second event. That's not too bad. This is a little bit closer to the previous one. Yeah, so that was at 1375 total logs chopped, this next event. Last one was at like 1199 or something. All right, got another event here in Falador. So I think I just got really unlucky with, it took forever for that first event to spawn. Still working through the oaks. This is like day 3 or 4. It's just taken a long time. It just occurred to me that it would really suck if I got an event on the edge of a chunk like this one. Because I wouldn't be able to do it if it dips into the other chunk. So I don't have too many oaks like this. Most of them are inside the chunk, or at least I have the adjacent chunk unlocked. So I'm just gonna pray this one doesn't spawn one. It didn't. We're okay. Yeah, here I'm just constantly teleporting. I've got so many rings of dueling. I'm just constantly teleporting to Castle Wars. I've kind of decided that I'm only ever going to chop 2 oak trees at a time between banking, because I think that the time it takes me... So if I partially chop a tree and then leave to bank and then come back, with oak trees, however they're supposed to work, they basically regenerated the full way. So I end up getting more logs than I probably should if I partially chop them and come back. I was thinking that, oh, I'll partially chop them until I have an inventory of 28 logs, bank, and then by the time I get back, I'll only get 4 logs this time, right? And I'll be able to fit in a couple more trees. But it seems like I just straight up get more logs that way, which is kind of against the spirit of the account. I'm not going to worry about the count of logs I got this cycle. This has been a very exploratory, experimental cycle. But I think starting next time, I'm just going to do 2 trees at a time and then always bank, because it's impossible for 2 trees to fill up my inventory with the way they changed it. All right, we're getting close to the end. After this oak tree, I just have Port Gazard, Hazelmere, and Tower of Life, which are all in an area of the map that I have to teleport to with the fishing trawler minigame teleport. So very excited to be done, and I can report my findings to you afterward. Okay, I had to do a count to be sure, but I just finished my last oak tree, which means I should be done with forestry events for the cycle, and I can give you a summary. Now, obviously, I'm not done with wood cutting for the cycle. I still have to do regular logs. Not very many events doing this by myself. I also did this. I made sure I went to every single individual oak tree. You know, I've talked about fungibility, right? Where if there are 2 oak trees that both return the same resources and one might be closer to a bank or less of a hassle to do, when I'm repeating cycles that I already have access to, I'll sometimes just take advantage of fungibility and chop 1 tree to save some hassle. But here I wanted to make absolutely sure that there wasn't any kind of like degeneracy issue, that there weren't going to be 2 oak trees that maybe had different chances of spawning events based on their location and proximity to other events. And I still didn't get very many events, so let's look at the numbers here. Okay, so these are the final details here. I'll probably clean up the presentation style for this. We had 2 depletable magic trees. I got an event right away, which made me think, oh, events are really common. Maybe only on magic trees, or maybe that was just lucky. I got 158 anima infused bark from the first event. Maple trees, I got 1 event out of 11 depletable trees. I got 167 extra bark from that one. Yew trees, I had 12 trees. I got 1 event. I'm just tracking my total bark. I should probably figure out the actual increase per event. Let me do that real quick. Okay, this is probably an easier to read event summary. So we had 4 events from Magic, Maple, Yew, and Willow, and then 4 events from Oaks only. I can't really make any determinations about the spawn rate of events from this. If I had to guess, it would be like 1 in 50 for oak trees, for example, which means you can go relatively dry, as I did. It took me until tree number 78 before I saw a single event. And then I saw several of them back to back, but didn't see any on the back half getting through my 216 total depletable trees. Anima seems pretty stable. It's somewhere between 170 and 180, depending on how you do the event. I obviously got the least events from Rising Roots, the first one from the Magic Tree, because I didn't know what I was doing. Now that I do, I should be able to get a pretty typical amount, I think. Averages 171. If this is all I get per cycle, I should actually be able to get the relevant rewards relatively reasonably quickly. I think it's like 5,000 for the thing that lets you carry an extra 27 oak logs on you, log brace or whatever, log basket. So that's only going to be a few cycles before I'm able to pick that up, especially if I get lucky with events. So I think this isn't busted. I think it's also nice too that I didn't see more than 1 event per chunk, which probably is just because of the rules for events being locked out from spawning in a certain radius. Like, it's unlikely once I see an event that I'm even going to see one spawn on one of the trees nearby. But I don't think I need, the point is, I don't think I need to add any restrictions. I think I should just do events as I encounter them. Right. And if I end up using fungibility for some of these chunks to kind of speed them up a little bit, especially with oaks, since I can only chop 2 oaks per banking trip, which is absolutely miserable. If I'm going to use fungibility, I should keep roughly this incident rate in mind. I think that actually using fungibility might make it harder for me to get events over time, or at least I should move on from trees that I'm using on the argument that it would lock out spawns if I stayed at the same tree for the whole time. But anyway, yeah, that was forestry. This was our good experimental chunk. We learned that it wasn't that big of a deal. In future cycles, I expect to see on average 8 events, probably at least 5 events would be nice. I guess to show you the forestry kit at the end here, 20 regular leaves so far. That's from earlier chopping. 714 oak leaves, 99 willow, 68 maple, 34 yew, 21 magic leaves. Obviously, I used about 28 oak leaves to make forestry ration, so this should be slightly higher from that. I guess I could probably use this to as like a sanity check. I think you get leaves like 1 in every 4 chops or something. I could try to figure out if this helps me sanity check the number of logs I've done for this cycle. Here's the delta in logs. This is before doing regular logs, obviously. 17 magic logs, 117 yew, 115 maple, 343 willow, 2856 oak, which is a ridiculous increase. Let me show you previous cycles. I had to find a cycle where I didn't do a bunch of fletching through my old oak logs, but yeah, I used to be getting like 1,300 at a time. Overall increase in logs is really significant. All right, I'm going to start the process of chopping down my many regular trees. May as well start over here, you know? Gotta do these achy trees anyway. Okay, almost done with regular logs here. I got these last 2 trees here in Relica. I've learned some things about forestry. I kind of did this this cycle wrong, but it's okay. We'll fix it for next cycle. So these are my last 2 logs. Wood cutting is done. Let me tell you about forestry. I'm gonna head over to the forestry shop to explain. All right, there's my woodcutting tasks done. I misunderstood forestry. I was trying to read the wiki, and maybe when I started doing this, the wiki wasn't super clear, and it's a bit clearer now, and I've been able to do a little bit more research to confirm. But basically, there are 2 events that I didn't see at all, right? Like, there's supposed to be 4 events. There's the roots events, the sapling events, the flower events, and the leprechaun events. And I was under the impression that all of those just have a chance to spawn. But I didn't see the flower event or the leprechaun event at all, right? And the reason for that is because the forester sells items that allows those events to spawn in the first place. I was under the impression that the items sold by the forester just have a chance, or they increase the chance that you'll see those events, but they're literally required or you won't see them, period, right? And it seems like the way the events work from the wiki is that the game tries to roll one of the 4 events, and if it rolls one of the 4 that you don't have the item for, it just doesn't spawn. You don't see it at all, right? So that means during this cycle, there were likely many times that it attempted to roll the leprechaun and flowering bush events, but because I didn't have the items, they just didn't appear, which probably accounts for why I saw so few events overall. So I did some research. The clover insignia seems like it's not worth it because all the leprechaun does is let you bank. it does not generate any bark, so this would cost me bark in the long run. It might be something I could sink bark into eventually once I buy everything else I want to buy, but for now I think this is a total waste. The powdered pollen, however, should return more bark than it costs to buy if I'm doing my own wood cutting of all of the trees in the cycle. So I think the idea is once I got to 300 bark, I should have immediately come and bought a pollen, made the bees on the stick so that the flowering bush event could spawn. And then I should be able to go infinite from there, where, yeah, it costs some bark to upkeep it, but it gives me more bark on average than I spend on buying the pollen. I think I'm gonna go ahead and buy this here. I'm just gonna buy one. Oh, I need noted willow logs. Okay, hold on. For real this time, buy one powdered pollen. Got it. Okay. So now I need to go take this. Fortunately, I can, well, can I use this? Maybe I'm okay. I have to have proximity to a beehive, and I don't know that I can actually get to a beehive. So maybe this was a waste. Let's see. Okay, I was worried this might be the case. I shouldn't have bought that. I should have saved my anima. I think the only beehives in the entire game are the ones south of Camelot, and I don't think I can get to them. Yeah, they're right across there. Oh man, that's gonna make that chunk really exciting to unlock. I guess that makes me feel a little bit less bad, because that means I didn't screw up this cycle. I physically couldn't have made the bees on the stick since I can't get in there. But holy shit, that's going to massively increase the value of this chunk. I don't even think I care about this chunk right now. It might not even be on my radar as something I want. Now I want this chunk really badly. I kind of want to experiment and see if this counts as close enough to the beehive. Probably not. It just says you have to be close to one. It doesn't say you have to be standing right next to one. The wiki says next to a beehive, so that's not going to work. All right, well, I wasted some bark. That was a mistake. The other thing wasn't a mistake, but that was a mistake. It's only 300 though. That's like 2 events, so it might delay me getting the log basket by a cycle. But the log basket is just a time saver. It doesn't like affect the total resources I can get per cycle. So I did not screw up, it turns out, but only because I haven't rolled the chunk that has beehives in it. Cool, great, good talk. All right, wood cutting's done, mining's done. Wood cutting took forever. Really glad I'm giving myself so much time to do these cycles. Part of the reason for doing that, like, I know people were disappointed to hear it was gonna be like 2 months in between episodes, but I'm worried that it's eventually going to take me 2 months to do an episode. We'll see. I should add as well that I got a ton of bird nests. I don't know if they changed the way bird nests work or just the changes to the way oaks deplete makes it more likely for me to see bird nests. I suspect you maybe can't get a nest on your first chop on a tree. So I think that in the old form of wood cutting, because it was likely that I would chop an oak tree and it just deplete on the first chop, that it reduced the chance that I would see them. But I got like 22 bird nests. For context, last cycle I got 11 bird nests, so literally double the number of nests I got, which got me extra tree seeds, which I'm working on doing some farming now. I'm gonna plant these maple saplings. Actually interested now, because this is an oak tree left over from last cycle. Like, does forestry apply to these planted trees? Don't think so. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. It would have despawned by now, so I bet they use the old rules. That would make sense since other players can't see or chop them, right? All right, we're doing 2 maples. I'll do a willow in Taverley, I suppose. I got a bunch of acorns as well, but I'm going to go plant everything else I can plant. I need to do as much farming as I can. About to get a farming level here as I work through all my patches. Farming 53, which I really need to look at what that boosts to. I don't know what my next big farming boost is. Looks like I can boost to plant quarm seeds now. I don't know if I actually have any quarm seeds. I'll check the bank. All right, working on my cycle here, moving on to fishing. I'm going to start with fishing trawler so I get more XP in case I get another angler piece. After that, I'll probably head out to Temporas. Okay, am I going to get an angler piece? I got really lucky that first cycle. I did! That's really nice. Fantastic. All right, that's 2 out of 4. It's pretty cool. Good stuff. The XP bonus is like barely able to be registered, but that's why I do fishing trawler first. Hey, just got an easy casket. I had doing my clue scrolls when I was doing wood cutting earlier. Nothing. All right, heading into Temporas. Let's see. All right, still got it despite my long break. Finished with 10 permits. It's our 20th Temporas kill. That's pretty cool. All right, let me see. Anything good this time? Casket's potentially interesting. right, what do we got in the casket? Do I already have a rune helm? I do not. That is a very small upgrade over the rune med helm. That's quite exciting. Pretty cool looking guy. All right, we'll hold on to that. Just working through my fishing here. Things are going decently well. I might want to pop over and get see if I get a rogue outfit piece at the rogue's den. It would be really unfortunate to go dry 2 cycles in a row. I hope I don't. All right, we're gonna pop into rogue's den really quick and see if I get lucky and get a rogue outfit piece. Okay, made it to the end. Get 1 successful attempt per cycle. Oh, I got one. Okay, whew. Good, I'm glad we did that before doing any pickpocketing. It's really exciting. A piece of rogue equipment, please. I don't know that it actually matters the order in which I take these. I guess I'll start with the top, because I already have the graceful gloves. That's my first piece of rogue equipment. Very exciting. I might try that out in my fashionscape. Let's see. Yeah, I think that looks pretty cool with the old ruin helmet. Also looks fine with the Elder Chaos robe, so I'm down. We'll do that. Amusingly, I have several skill pieces from totally different skill sets here. The rogue top, the angler hat, the angler pants, and the graceful gloves. So I guess whatever I get next, I'll go for boots, just so I can look like a weirdo. All right, should be about to get a thieving level. There it is, thieving 70. I can now pickpocket paladins, which I will do. There's a paladin or a couple paladins in Arduin that I can pickpocket. Doesn't let me complete the chunk, and they just have coins, so it's not a big deal. It's been nice having the rogue's outfit. Not, obviously, it's only like 20% of the time that it's proccing, but it's gonna be extra money, and importantly, it'll be extra seeds on the master farmer. All right, stepping away from pickpocketing for a second to do some farming and check health on this maple tree. I don't think I'm going to get another farming level this cycle, but I'm going to replace this guy with a oak sapling. Right. I got to get used to carrying tools again. RS3 has a tool belt where all of your tools are stored forever, along with all of your money. I actually kind of don't like it. I like having to have inventory space reserved for stuff like this, but I definitely have muscle memory from RS3 now. Oh man, I really wanted to see if this would work, and I don't think it will. There's some speculation about the bee on a stick, that maybe I can use the beehives and the beekeeper random to make the bee on a stick without needing the actual chunk south of Camelot, but I can't get it in my inventory. The beekeeper, it was so perfect. The beekeeper happened to spawn in Ferox Enclave while I was running to restore energy. I was able to get the items out of my bank, but I cannot physically get into my inventory, unfortunately. That's too bad. Oh, I also missed that I need a hunter level of 50 to make a bee on a stick. Okay, well, even if I was able to, I guess I would have been blocked by that. Back to working through thieving here. Finished all my guards and warriors. I'm going to pickpocket this, or I'm going to steal from this tea stall for 28 times for the first time. All right, that's 28 cups of tea that I will probably never use. Maybe I can use them to top off when I'm standing at a bank. Okay, the cycle continues over here, getting my 28 triangle sandwiches per builder here. It's gonna take a minute. All right, pickpocketing my first paladin here. Can only do each one once. It's interesting that they give chaos runes. All right, there we go. 2 paladins. All right, just finished up doing the panning over here. Got a couple tasks. Like I'll tend to do these frog spawns and cave eels while I'm doing PvE down in the lumbered swamp cave. And I'll do these pickpocket tasks over in Poldum Niche when I go to do PVM there. I need to do runecraft, but I want to wait to do runecraft until after I check out Guardians of the Rift, which is going to require me to finish the Into the Abyss mini quest, which I can finally do now that I have access to Arduin. So I got to get my stuff together and figure out how exactly I get all of that. Like, I think I already have the scrying orb that I need. I just have to go talk to Property in Arduin and have him teleport me. We'll see. Okay, so I think all I have to do here is right-click teleport with Property while having the orb in my inventory. Oh, easy task in the Arduin area. Your scrying orb has absorbed enough teleportation information. Man, is it good to see that after all this time. All right, let me head back to the Zamorakian mage. I think I have to bring it to him in Varrock. I'm actually not sure. And I've been sitting on this quest, unable to be completed for a very long time. I half expect that this just isn't going to work, that there's going to be some other chunk that I'm forgetting about that I need to complete this quest. Sure do. It just took me like months. All right. So now I have access to the Abyss. Oh, and 1,000 Runecraft XP. That's kind of cool. So that unlocks several things, actually. That unlocks his shop, which I don't think that chunk is complete. I have to double check if that will let me finish the chunk once I do everything else there. There might be like a tree that's chunk blocked or something. So I'll double check that. It does give you a small pouch, which is really nice. I can use that now. I think my rule is going to be that when I do rune crafting, if I have pouches, I can use all of my pouches in addition to the 28 essence that I usually make, right? So that's going to be convenient. But I do need to kill everything in the Abyss at least once, which is going to be a bit of a pain in the ass. I'll wait to worry about it until we get to the PVM stage. I think I can do it. I might have to bring in a... Well, no, I can't bring in a prayer potion. What am I talking about? I have to save every last dose of these. It might just involve a lot of teleporting and returning and teleporting and returning. At least with Rings of Dueling, I can teleport to Ferox Enclave and get in there really fast, so that's at least a positive. Let me fully bank here. I just want to check out the Abyss really fast. Never mind, disregard all that. That chunk is complete. I just haven't had access to the shop to buy it out. I probably don't have the money to buy out his runes every cycle, so I don't really need to, but it's nice to have another refreshing source of runes. Now, I should think about... The Abyss has teleports to different altars, which as long as the altar is underground, I think that is fine that I can use those. I just can't use them to go to the surface until I roll the relevant surface chunk, you know? Abyss, easy task in the wilderness area. Remember, this actually skulls me in this game, which is much more dangerous. Spend a lot of time in here in RS3. It's a really good place to train. Yeah, so I think I'll probably end up using this to do most of my rune crafting. Some of these are much more convenient to do from here than trying to walk all the way to the altar, especially like the Chaos Rift. So I don't know if I'm allowed to do anything with Law Runes until I complete a quest. This is super interesting. While I'm trying to investigate this, I don't think I realized that you can get to the Abyssal Sire from here. I mean, it makes sense. It's in the Abyss. But there's a passage right there that goes to where you fight the Sire. So I guess I technically have 4 Sires unlocked. I would need to have a high Slayer level to fight it, which will probably never happen on this account. Oh, it's a neat thing that's technically accurate. I don't know if I can get to the other Abyss area up here or if that requires a fairy ring. I was under the impression it was fairy ring only to get to the Abyssal Sire as well. Yeah, the Abyssal area is only via fairy ring. Okay, so yeah, I think I have access to any of these as long as they don't take me onto the surface. So surface chunks are the Blood Altar and the Soul Altar. I can't click on those because those will put me outside in a chunk I haven't rolled, but those will become rollable chunks after this cycle, I think. I should check to see if there are any prerequisites to use those portals. All right, the Cosmic Rift can only be entered when Lost City has been completed. Law Rift can only be entered when Troll Stronghold has been completed. Death Rift can only be entered when Morning's End Part 2 has been completed. Blood Rift requires Sins of the Father. Can't get to Korend with the Blood Rift at all without already having a Dark Essence block, so it wouldn't let me roll a chunk there. Soul Rift is the same. So yeah, I guess I don't actually get... I can't use these to roll Korend chunks to get up there because I need to have already been in Korend and access those chunks to do anything. So that's fair. I think in that case, that means I can go to... I can do the Mind Rift, which I otherwise can't get to right now. I'm 1 chunk away. And I can do the Nature Rift. So I get 2 extra altars that I can runecraft on. I just have to be able to teleport out of the altar area without exiting into Karamja, right? Yeah. The new music track, Understanding. I'll do this later. I got to start setting up my task list now that I have all this new stuff unlocked. I'm going to wait to do any rune crafting. I went ahead and added mind runes and nature runes, but I'm going to wait to actually rune craft until I've killed all of the abyssal creatures, just to see if I happen to get lucky on pouch drops, right? Because the more pouches I have, the more rune crafting I can do, and I just want to do it all in one trip. Okay, so I've never actually done Temple of the Eye before, the quest that unlocks Guardians of the Rift. And I've never done Guardians of the Rift before, so I'm going to record my full reaction to it. If you don't care to see the full quest, I'll put a time code in the description if you just want to skip ahead from this. Hey, it's me again. I know past me just recommended that you click the time code to skip if you don't want to see a whole quest plus me bumbling through the minigame for the first time. I'm just here to reinforce that because the quest plus minigame is like an hour of mostly unedited bumbling around. Some of you who watch my Questcape playthroughs are into that. Some of you are very much not into that. So click that time code to get to the end of Guardians of the Rift if you feel like you get it. I rolled this chunk so long ago. It's so wild to finally be able to do this. Excited to check out this minigame for the first time. Okay, what are you doing in Al-Kharid? I should know Wizard be in Al-Kharid. Mia Purston. Teleportation magic. Expect the unexpected. Why do trees grow from stumps faster than from seeds? Where do meteorites come from? Why do we have to hold our arms out to teleport successfully? That's funny. Why do we T-pose? Came here to buy something. What do you know of the Abyss? Well, I just happen to know all about the Abyss as of 2 minutes ago. Recently helped a group of Zamorakian wizards. That's actually true. Do you realize the ZMI are enemies of the Order of Wizards, right? Maybe I shouldn't have mentioned that. Ah, don't worry about it. And she doesn't care about the gods. Don't tell anybody else. ZMI found a way to access the Abyss. You're the perfect person to aid me in a little task. Start Temple of the Eye, yes. What do you need from me? Using it to gain access to the runic altars. Wonder how they've been creating so many runes. Well, yes, but actually no. Take a look. Foolish archaeologist by the name of Asgarnius Smith recently found this washed up near the ruins of Uzer. Able to buy it from him before he disposed of it. He thought the 100 coins I paid was too much. This is the symbol of the Order of Wizards in our home, the Wizard's Tower. The amulet's thousands of years old. Our order was only formed at the dawn of the 5th Age. There's 2 distinct magical features. Magic found in Rune Essence. The second signature is energy from the Abyss. Okay. It's a symbol of your order, but it predates the order by thousands of years. Need to find out where this amulet came from. Yeah, what's the catch? Spell needed to trace the amulet only works inside the Abyss. Take this amulet to the Abyss and work out where it came from. Okay, so go to Varrock, not to the Abyss just yet. Got it. Alright, talking to the Mage of Zamorak. Need your help with an amulet. The amulet's giving off abyssal energy. Work out where it came from. Are you not slightly curious? You tell our secrets to the Ceredominists? I bought it from an archaeologist. Bring me a bucket of water and a strong cup of tea. Tell him Herbert sent you. Wait, your name is Herbert? Never had you down as a Herbert. Incredible. I love RuneScape's comedy. It's really funny. Hey, what's up, Mr. Tea Seller? Can I have a strong cup of tea? Herbert sent me. Herbert's strong cups of tea are just my regular cups of tea, but it makes him happy. Okay. You help me with that amulet. Bucket of water. Yep, here you go. Nothing like a nice cup of tea. Have the initiate in the Abyss perform something. Okay, so I have to get teleported there. If someone was watching, they know you have a secret Chaos Temple here in Varrock. I reckon you're pretty safe. I'll offer you a single teleport from here directly to the initiate in the Abyss. Make sure you're ready. Bucket of water for... Time passes slower in the Abyss. The initiate maintained the rift has still been there for quite a while. He needs a bath. Throw it over him? Exactly. One-time offer, yes. That's nice of them. Cool. I don't even get skulled. Oh man, I should have taken advantage of that to bring some gear with me. I guess I can't leave the central area to fight enemies. Okay, talking to the Dark Mage here. Need your help with an amulet. Oh, people are NPC contacting him. Can't you see I'm busy? Throw the bucket of water on the mage. Herbert said you needed a wash. If I lost my concentration and let the rift collapse? I like my brain how it is. Can you help me? Herbert said you would. This amulet's giving off abyssal energy. I need you to cast a spell to tell me where it came from. Using this rift to compare energy from the origin, energy from the runic altars. Information won't come in the right order. The energy that's emerged from the rift, work out which order it goes in. Okay, so this is like a puzzle. Oh, I have to like figure out what the order is. Okay, so fire, nature. No. Fire, nature, cosmic? I was about as wrong as I possibly could be. Fire, nature, earth, cosmic. Earth, law. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna like get really unlucky. Fire, nature, earth, death, law. Yup, that's what I thought. Fire, nature, earth, death, cosmic, law. There we go. Worked out the order. Tell me anything about the place. I'd like to consider myself an expert on the abyss. There's something very strange about the place this amulet came from. Okay, hands me an incantation. Back to the Alcarid Gate. Now, I need to figure out what my account rules are for Guardians of the Rift. It's probably that I can do it once per cycle, but I've never done it before, which is maybe problematic. I'll do it for the very first time here, because I could maybe do it really poorly or fail. It's probably that I have to get one success per cycle. I need to look into whether it's like soloable, for example, because if it's soloable, whatever gives me the most resources is what I want to do. All right, talking to Wizard Purston. What's she talking about? I've worked out what we have to do next. Let me share with you my theory on where this amulet came from. Thinking about why would it have magical energy from Rune Essence and the Abyss. The source of the amulet must be an ancient teleportation matrix to the runic altars, just like the one Z and I have in the Abyss. Okay. Now there's a balance Guthix himself would love. Here's the amulet. I wonder if the Zamorak mage is tracking her or something. CMI friends cast a transmission spell on the amulet. Had we taken it with us, it would have transmitted all sorts of information back to them. She's smart. They prefer to lurk in the shadows. Sending them false information. Incantation's complex. Go to the Wizard's Tower. Head to the Wizard's Tower, show the incantation to Cedridor. Okay. Don't mention the ZMI while you're there. I can teleport you. Hey, I'll take that. So they give you all these one-time teleports. They're very careful with that. It's only during the quest, don't worry. Nothing is broken. Alright, what's up, Cedridor? Up with an incantation. Person sent you. Person disappears for all this time, shows up again with knowledge of an ancient teleportation matrix. The scroll is interesting. Did you get it from a Zamorakian wizard? Don't lie to me. Incantations written on very thin flesh rather than parchment. Need I remind you it was the Zamorakis who burned down the first Wizard's Tower? She sends you here with Zamorakian incantations and odd claims about an ancient teleportation matrix. Okay, yeah, it says you've been great help in the past. I assume that means... Is it Rune Mysteries as a prerequisite? I guess just, well, Enter the Abyss had it as a prerequisite. That makes sense. Treeborn has 3 new apprentices. Okay, cool. Talk to Treeborn. Need some help. Having a party? What? Study party. Need help with an incantation. Cancel the party. Discover the secrets of this teleportation matrix instead. Only task each of the apprentices with solving a problem. If they all solve it, we can celebrate together. What's the problem? Okay. I don't think I remember Treeborn being, like, senile. Figure out what a thingamy-what is. That's 6 and this is 8. If we multiply, that's not it either. I'm gonna solve a puzzle. Why do you think so highly of him? The foremost expert in extraplanar magic. Why do you think he has the smallest room in the tower? He doesn't need the space. He can just open a portal to create more. Solve the puzzle first. Water is 6 and mind is 8. Thingamy-what is less than 2 body and more than 2 earth. Oh, cool. Okay. It probably gives me the answer over here. I haven't actually been following this guide, so I'm going to collapse it. Can I turn off the quest helper? I'd like to try to figure this out for myself since I haven't done the quest before. Okay, so I assume I need more information from the other guys here. I'll turn the quest helper back on after this phase. Cordelia... Infinitely more interesting. Why do you care about the puzzle? Okay. Okay, fire is 4 and body is 7. Writing this down. It's basically just an algebra puzzle, right? It looks like fairly straightforward. Tamra. What appears to be the problem? Maybe it's a Slayer creature or a person? Is this a logic puzzle, a riddle, or a math problem? Well, it's a math problem. Okay. Show me the puzzle. Earth is 5 and air is 3. Okay, so I know all the values now. X is less than 3 fire and more than 1 mind. Oh, I think I misunderstood the first one. I thought it was like X minus 2, but it's less than 2 Earth, right? Let me get it again. It's Felix, I think, is the one I need to see again. Less than 2 body, more than 2 Earth. Okay, so 2 body is 14, so it's less than 14. 2 Earth is 10, so more than 10. 3 water is 18. So less than 18, more than 3 air is 9. That's not very helpful. Less than 3 fire. So it's less than 12. That is helpful. I think I already have the answer then. More than 1 mind, which is 8. It must be 11 then, because if it's more than 10 and less than 12, right, that must be the answer. I think I know what a thingamywhat is. It's 11. That's correct. Congratulations, you all pass. I hope you all learned a valuable lesson in teamwork. All right, let me turn this quest helper back on. It looks like it does tell you the answer, but I haven't been looking over here. I've just been watching. Let me actually collapse this, and I'll try to not look at that. I'm just looking at the arrows in the lake. What a great way to teach us teamwork. Hey! It's fireworks. Thanks, Treyborn. What was that for? Tell Cedrador my apprentices are free to help. Okay. Cedrador, Booby. Ready to uncover a magical secret that could change the world forever? I think this is going to tutorialize the minigame, which is nice. The Giant's Foundry quest does a good job of tutorializing that. Can we go ahead? Let's do this. Ooh, cutscene. Nice. Guessing this portal's just in the basement now. Go back to your studies. Let's do it. Excited to see this area because it's a brand new area, right? Ooh. It's like underwater. That's kind of cool. See the chunk line there. This is unexpected. Underwater? Looks like it. Wow, this is really cool. I love the look of like modern old school RuneScape where they're like intentionally trying to recreate the kind of PS1 visuals. It looks incredible. Deep below the sea, south of Mauritania. Interesting. Let's look around. Okay, so let's me just walk around here. That still has me talking to people, it looks like. That's an interesting statue. Alia, Justiciar of the Lion and Guardian of the Temple of the Eye. It looks like Saradomin. Powerful warriors in service to Saradomin. Maybe Saradomin himself once stood here. Ancient table with pure essence on it. Camera. Rune Guardians, like the one of the Mage Training Arena. Oh, yeah. All right, yeah, that's the teleportation one. That makes sense. Cordelia. Oh, yeah, and it extends into the abyss over here. Big hole here, giving out the tiniest amount of magical energy. Really like the look of this area. It's very cool. Looking at these markings here, they're very interesting. They're radiating a magical energy I've never encountered before. Oh, I wonder if this is supposed to... Let me turn low detail off. Ooh, vision. Spooky. Saradomin be with you. And with you, Zechariah. Okay, these are the Saradomin warriors. Statues outside. Build a sanctuary for the eye. Zamorak has tasked his collector with finding the eye. Keep the eye secret from all others. What the? Okay, yeah, now I can see more patterns here. Joss? I think Joss comes up in RS3. I don't know very well, though. Large hole behind you is radiating a strange energy. It's probably like abyssal monsters come in here and we have to protect it or something. All the rune guardians here with eye symbols. This place was once called the Temple of the Eye. Powerful artifact made by Saradomin himself. The energy from that hole is abyssal energy. Old teleportation matrix was spot on. The wizards here must have used power from the abyss to create portals to the runic altars. And with the power from the eye and support from the rune guardians, they've been able to create runes at lightning speed. The eye must have had a huge impact on their work. They named the temple after it and fashioned a symbol based on it. Cast a simple revealing spell. Ooh, uh-oh. It seems like that was a mistake. Now that's a problem. Oh, cool. Uh-oh. I like that they're modified versions of the abyss creatures. Oh, nice. I want that spell. Sow the rift to the scars open once more. Humans, fight with us. Hold back the abyss. Oh, is this going to teach me the minigame? If more creatures come through the rift. Use the cells. Protect me while I close the rift. Okay, I think they still give me time to learn all this. I'm not like under a time pressure or something. Containers on this table contain small amounts of runic energy. Take one to Tamara. Don't take more than one. I'm really glad they introduced minigames in Quest now, instead of just throwing you to the wolves. Show the cell to Tamara. This is what Felix found. Place it in the tile next to me. Place cell, inactive cell tile. Okay. Barrier protects us from the creatures. Here come more of them. It's not quite tower defense. Restore my brethren. Place cells with an imbued rocks and they will do the rest. See if Felix can help. Oh, okay, it does damage and then it does 0. Give you time. That's smart. Put cells and imbued rocks. The essence piles are remnants of old guardians. They contain elemental and catalytic energies. A chisel to shape the essence. There's one on the floor there. Simple essence pile. Oh, okay, that's cool. It gives you some crafting XP and runecraft. It's following the elemental symbols on the ground. Create another one using the other essence pile. Okay, that's elemental, that's catalytic. Alright. Guardians should be strong enough to fend off the creatures. Head back to Tamara and see what we should do next. Okay, so you make a barrier and then you make guardians to fight the abyssal creatures. Need runic energy. Use the rune guardians. Obtain fragments from them. Make something to capture the runic energy needed. And mine the fallen guardians. Okay. Okay, got it. Guardian remains on the edges. Makes sense. I've heard that this is like an AFK source of mining XP. People just come here and mine that forever, which is not what I will be doing. I have fragments from the Fallen Guardians. Combine them with Pure Essence. I think they originally wanted you to bring Pure Essence in here, but now there's just infinite essence inside the minigame, which is nice. Talk to Tamra. Capture runic energy. Use power from the abyss to open a portal to the runic altar of mind. Head to the mind altar and craft runes. That essence you have should capture some of the runic energy released. Take an uncharged cell with you as well. I have a theory to test. Okay. Run back and get a cell. And go to the Guardian of Mind, which I guess only some of these are turned on at a time. I don't think this is the actual Mind Altar. I think this is a version of the Mind Altar for this minigame. Kind of cool that they have you come here, though. Catalytic Guardian Stone. Talk to Tamra. Captures energy from the altar. Use that new cell to replace the one powering the barrier. Then use the stones to power up the big guardian. Okay, so anyone can place cells there to heal the barrier. That makes sense. Stones of field movement, more are needed. Repeat the process again. Runic altar of water. Take another uncharged cell with you. Okay. So we're gonna mine remains. I like how they have you repeat this enough so you kind of get the loop. It's funny that they limit you from just mining in here for as long as you like, just not finishing the quest. We go into the Guardian of Water this time. Craft runes. Portal Talisman Water. I don't know what that is. Maybe she'll explain it. Okay, still need more. You show the cell and the talisman to Tamra. Stronger the runic energy, the more powerful the cell will be. Water is more powerful than air or mind. Make another rune guardian using that cell. Okay, so that's again back over here. Essence piles are different than the mineable guardian remains. Guardian's stronger than the ones you made before. Okay, cool. Need to power up this guardian one more time for it to be able to close that rift. The talisman you gave me can be used to return to the water altar without the portal being open. Oh, okay. Present the talisman to the statue where the portal to the water altar was. Take more essence and another cell with you. Gotcha. I wonder what reason you do any particular rune. Maybe it's just based, you do the highest one you have access to, I suppose. So we'll find out. Excited for the small amount of crafting XP. I have to use it on it. Yeah, okay, that's fair. Craft rune. Having you actually use the altars is pretty cool. I like that. Produce an even stronger barrier. Create better barriers by using stronger cells. Charge the Guardian with those stones you created and close the rift. 1650, nice. I am gonna get a level out of this. Cool. Yeah, but where's Wizard Person? True teleportation magic is strong here. That's a side effect of the temple's history. The temple was built to house a powerful artifact. Attempt to claim the artifact, they used magic they didn't understand. The Rift to the Scar was created as a result. The eye was removed after the battle, not before the Justiciar. Use it to seal the rift once more. Oh yeah, Guardians of the Rift. Without the power of the eye, we have no way to seal the rift permanently. It will soon open once more. Hey, it's a repeatable minigame. Alright, they're all staying to fix it. Let Sedgedoor know what happened. Friend has already been consumed. Oh, that's pretty cool. So she's going to show up as a villain in a later quest? Like that. You do a really good job of making the quests connect to each other. It all went wrong. It's the Temple of the Eye. Person opened it. Sucked into the abyss. All these abyssal creatures came out. Blinded by my own desires for the Matrix, Trayborn's apprentices are staying back to help. Do all you can to help them as well. This is partially your doing. Yeah, no kidding. Of how the hero of old school RuneScape is just some guy or some gal who keeps making mistakes and ruining things for everyone. Ooh, free medium pouch. That's really good. I don't think I'm a high enough level to use a large pouch. I think you need 50 runecraft, so 5,000 XP. Runecraft 47. Fantastic. Okay, well that's the end of me just recording the whole quest. I now need to figure out whether I want to, like, how do I want to do Guardians of the Rift? Is it even possible to solo? So I'm going to log out and research it for a bit. Oh man, there is an in-depth guide linked on the wiki. There's a 100% success rate. You won't fail due to RNG, and it is doable solo. So I think the rule is I get to complete it successfully once per cycle, kind of like Temporos, which means I might accidentally get some extra XP if I fail, which is fine. I just can't intentionally abuse it. So I'm going to like study this for a bit because it's a really, really long article and a long video. Okay, I think I've studied the guide. I kind of just want to attempt it here. Again, I'm not going to intentionally fail here to get a bunch of runecraft XP or anything. I'm just going to use the little table that says the order in which to do things. Grab uncharged cells, mine guardian fragments, all that fun stuff. I also need to go grab my... Oh, is there a bank chest here? I want to use the... It seems like the Varrock chest armor is good here, so that's cool. Go ahead and equip that. All right, so since I haven't done this before, I will likely fail on my first attempt, but I'm going to try to make tile markers to give me my instructions here. All right, I've studied this. I've tried doing markers, but I'm not going to worry about the markers. It was getting like really messy looking, so I'm just going to go in and give it a try. I have to start by getting 10 uncharged cells. Right click on the barrier and select visual effects. Okay. Get 10 uncharged cells. Mine 80 guardian fragments. The large guardian remains, which are over here. I need agility 56. Oh dear, that's news. I mean, I can't use those then? Maybe I have to use the regular guardian remains. It's realistic that I might hit that at some point, so I do this for 60 seconds. Alright, Varrock plate body does work. I don't think this removes celestial ring charges. Oh, it totally does. It does let me mine additional ores. I have to decide whether I want to waste charges on that, though. I guess if I only have to do this once per cycle, it's not a big deal. I don't know that I'll get 80, though, before I run out of time here. Okay, so I gotta place a barrier now. Grab a weak cell. Create a weak elemental guardian. Grab a weak cell. Place a barrier in between the fire and blood portals. Run energy might end up being a problem too. I might need to try to plan for that better next time. Weak cell, blood and law. Then I have to make guardian essence. But I'm still gonna need 20 more guardian fragments. Charge the middle barrier. Enter the highest level altar, which in this case is the... Oh shit, I missed it. Unfortunate. Craft runes. Okay. It gave me a overcharged cell, so I want to make another altar with that, I guess. At least it gives me a cooldown there. Power up the Great Guardian, enter the highest level altar, and craft Guardian Stones. Okay. I do think I'm supposed to spend some time... Like, I want to stay at as low a Guardian energy as possible because it makes it less dangerous or something. It's kind of like Temporos, where you want to be at the weakest stage possible for as long as possible. I don't know if this is going to highlight the one that's best for me. It might. If you don't have 2 Guardians, create another Guardian. I do have 2 Guardians right now. I don't think there's any reason to have more than 2, though. Oh, I'm already getting confused, though. This is getting freaky. Guardian power is only up to 26. Oh, I see. I didn't realize the time since portal resets repeatedly. Interesting. Definitely going to fail this game. This is how we learn, though, I guess. Did lose a Guardian, it looks like. So I think that means I want to make another one. I don't know if this eventually becomes unwinnable if I, like, dick around for too long, if I just get overwhelmed with damage or something. Probably. Can't do Law runes without doing Lost City. It'll be helpful to have failed this, because then watching the video will make more sense, too, right? There are already enough Rift Guardians in the room. Okay. Recharge the weak barriers, though. Need to do more mining. Portal is open to the southwest. Oh, okay. This lets me do this without having the requisite agility level. Oh, this just gives me Guardian Essence directly. Okay, that's cool. And I can fill my pouches now, which I haven't been doing. Probably good enough. So you want to take that whenever it pops up. Just use whichever one is more powerful at a given time. Another weak cell. Let me charge this back up here. I probably need to do more mining, to be honest. Depending on how hard this gets eventually. Oh shit, I'm all out of Guardians, aren't I? That's not good. I'm gonna fail. That's okay, I'm learning. 10 Guardian Essence to repair shit, I didn't realize that. That's scary. I think I might just bail here to avoid getting too much XP from this failed attempt, but I've at least learned how it works, so that's cool. So as I'm researching more, it seems like 56 agility to use a little shortcut might be mandatory for the solo method to be possible. I can maybe get to it in boost range of 56 agility and bring some agility potions with me, but it might make more sense for me to just do mass worlds for now. It's not that many fewer points per cycle. It is fewer points per cycle. I really have to think about it, though, because I want to maximize my rewards. Okay, I've been studying the minigame more, and I think I want to try doing it solo at least a couple more times before I give in and do masses, because I think it is possible. Basically, some things that everybody talks about as though everyone should just know, but weren't ever made clear. I guess that you're not allowed to continue to stall if you have Guardian Essence on you, but you can just destroy the Guardian Essence and stall indefinitely. Because so long as you're still at 10% energy, as long as you have decent summoned Guardians, they can kind of stall the game indefinitely, and you can take all the time you need to mine fragments and that kind of a thing. So I might try doing a game where I just get an excessive number of fragments and try to stay at 10% for as long as possible. It might take me a couple games to figure that out, but I think the amount of XP you get from individual actions isn't severe enough to like risk the integrity of the account or anything like that. Something I will do here, if I'm only going to save runes from a successful attempt. There's nothing I can do to undo XP that I gain, but there's no reason to keep these runes that I got from my exploratory attempt. So I'm just going to drop those. We'll keep whatever I actually get when I win. Okay, I'm going to give this a try. Let's go ahead and just pop in. So I got to get a weak cell and 10 uncharged cells to start. I'm going to activate the middle cell up here once the game begins. I'm just going to talk through what the strategy is here. Basically, what I want to do is I want to have 2 overcharged Guardians and an overcharged barrier, and then I think I can just kind of take my time and win. But that's the only way I can realistically win, and I just need to stall as long as possible until I can have that. Replace the cell here. Go back and we get another cell. I understand the weak cell a little bit better. It's just a thing you can get for free versus the ones you have to manually make. Build this. Normally I would go down the shortcut to mine, but I can't do that, so I'm going to mine these guys instead. I just mine until the portal becomes available, I guess. This is like 90 seconds of mining, which isn't going to get me super far. I am almost certainly going to have to uncharge my ring, because I don't think I can justify using all these charges for this. But I'll do it for this last game here as I continue to try to figure this out. Mine until the rift becomes active. When the rift becomes active, I do one of 4 different things depending on which altars I have available to me. If it's weak, I just ignore it, so that's air, mind, or body. If it's medium, I make a medium cell and upgrade the barrier. If it's strong, I wait by the catalytic guardian pile to see the next altar. If the second set has a fire altar, then we upgrade the barrier. Otherwise, we make a strong catalytic guardian, which is not ideal, but we can do it to kind of stall for longer. But we're looking for a fire altar is the only altar I have access to that can make an overcharged cell. And once we have overcharged cells and strong barriers, we just stall for as long as possible, and I mine as much material as I can. I'm probably going to end up over mining here just because I haven't done this before and don't have a feel for how many I need to make victory certain. I just want to make victory certain. And it seems like I can stall indefinitely. It's not like Temporos where I eventually fail. Okay, so water and body. I can do water. It's a medium. So I can create a... I didn't realize I could make cells here without having any runes to craft, so this makes more sense. Medium cell, upgrade the central barrier. And I think I just bail if the second set... Okay, there's a... Let's place the cell here. Guardian of Fire. I'm gonna make an overcharge cell. We're gonna pop out and turn that into a Guardian. I can probably use the portal, but no, I don't want to use the portal because I want to stall for as long as possible. Earth is another medium. I can make a medium Guardian since I just have the one right now, I guess. I actually don't want to be making these until I know what I'm doing, I think. Oh, we got fire again. That's important. That's how we delay. Oh, but I missed it. Okay. But to be careful not to miss it. That's pretty punishing if I do. I think that just heals it, but it still counts as a medium cell tile. Oh, fire again. Okay, I gotta learn when fire is up because that's how I win here eventually. And I eventually have to restock on uncharged cells. And I'm not getting too much wasted XP here since I'm just making cells, which is not a big deal. Okay, so we've got an overcharged. Oh, I meant to make that overcharged. Huh. Wonder why that didn't work. Maybe it can only go one step at a time, and I'm confused. Got fire again. I don't think I can overheal this. Definitely have a run energy problem at the moment, which kind of sucks. We want to try to get a second Guardian, which is my current objective. I might wait until a Guardian dies, since I can't use this for anything in the meantime. So ignore the portals for now until I'm fully caught up. I see what they mean about stalling out at 10%. Runecraft 48, I did get some XP from that. I was pretty close to a level up anyway. That should be fine. I am going to lose my medium Guardian, which is fine. That's expected to happen. I'm going to try to heal up the central thing. I'm still at 10%, which I can just holding pattern here indefinitely. Alright, the medium Guardian's dead. But my overcharged Guardian isn't doing too hot. I don't know if I have any control over that happening or that just happens occasionally. I don't think I can like heal him or anything. I feel it's probably better to have some Guardian than no Guardian, so I'm going to replace him with a medium. I can eventually get to 2. That seems kind of annoying to stay on top of. I gotta wait for another fire altar, I guess. Yeah, my big guy's gonna die. So when it says you can stall forever, you can kind of stall forever, but you still have to be paying attention. You can't just like completely zone out. Eventually your overcharged Guardians do die. I guess getting the overcharged central barrier is important because you have to do it. Oh man, running out of run energy sucks. You need to like bring stuff to restore that or something. I guess I'm operating on the assumption that the guide I'm reading is true and they've never patched this to make it harder or something. That would be kind of bad if so. Make a new Guardian here, and we want to try to make another Guardian if possible. I think once I have 2 overcharged Guardians and an overcharged barrier, I should be good to go to start actually trying to do the minigame. Now I think I just want to focus on healing the barrier. I'm going to try to top the barrier off as much as I can. And I might replace my overcharged Guardian one more time before I actually try to start making runes here, you know? I think you get some run energy restore once you start charging the Guardian's energy, which I haven't done at all so far, which is why my run energy is so bad right now. These guys do die over time, so I have to manage their health and the barrier's health, it looks like. And I can guess I can get more points by making more barriers, but I think the central barrier is the only one that does anything, which is kind of funny. Kind of waiting on another fire altar here. I wonder if they eventually kill enough of these guys that they're more balanced, because right now I'm just kind of waiting. I don't know, that medium, like the central barrier seems, its max health seems to be half health. Like I don't think I can heal it above half health, but I'll keep trying, I guess. All right, there's gonna be my second overcharged guardian. Once I get this second overcharged guardian, I'll just like try to mine to make sure I have an absolutely excessive amount of guardian fragments, so I don't have to think about it. And then I can probably start trying to win the game. I don't think I can eyeball my Rift energy. I gotta be careful. The Guardian's power is down to 6%, so some dudes must have snuck through on the side there. I'd like this to display more information than it currently does, but I don't think I have any way to force that, unfortunately. I think 200 is probably more than enough to end the game, but I don't want to even kind of sort of risk it, so... Okay, I gotta get another overcharged Guardian soon. I might try to get another weak cell and repair the barrier. It's doing okay. Guardians are the thing I'm worried about at the moment, more than anything. The nice thing is you can always get a cell whenever you're actually charging the central guardian. It seems like, okay, well there's fire. Good. It seems pretty tough to maintain 2 overcharged guardians since I'm dependent on the fire altar to be able to do this. I might go ahead and take that portal. I should have enough guardian fragments to last me the rest of the level, I think. But as soon as I start charging the guardian, that's when stuff gets hard, because then I can start getting overwhelmed, so I want to make sure that I'm all the way ready before I do anything like that. I don't think it lets me go into any portals so long as I have Guardian Essence that I haven't spent yet. Yeah, I'm down to 1 out of 2 of these guys. So I might want to wait for a fire. Okay, there's fire. Oh, it's going to give it to me. That's nice of them. Oh, there's another player. Oh, they might be here for... They might just be, like, crafting runes normally. I think that's how that works. Make a second Guardian. Turn these boys in because I have to. And I think from now on I can just try to craft essence as it becomes available to me. And just try to win. I have the necessary starting conditions to have a chance to win, it seems like. Charge the barrier. Still got to keep an eye out for fires whenever possible to restock on fire guardians. Fortunately, it keeps giving me weak shit here, which isn't great. Could use that portal, but I don't think how helpful it's going to be because I just need to craft stuff right now. This is very slow, the way I'm currently doing things, unfortunately. And I haven't seen a fire altar in a minute, but I've got 2 guardians, so that's good. Hopefully I have enough mine fragments to last me for the rest of this. It's really hard to say. One thing I have to do here, though, is get more uncharged cells. I just ran out without realizing it. Alright, there's a fire altar, that's good. And the run energy restore is really helpful here. Don't know how my guardians are currently doing. I don't think I can sit on a cell here indefinitely, which is kind of annoying. Still have 2 guardians. Probably want to start upgrading the central barrier, or is the overpowered barrier might just be like very strong. Like it doesn't seem like it's taking real damage right now. Maybe it only starts taking damage significantly later. Okay, now I can make another recharge guardian. It's fine. I gotta make more energy, which is something I keep forgetting to do. I might actually need to end up mining more here. Okay, got more fire. I always got to go for fire altar. It'll let me replace this guy when he dies, which is soon. Okay. Another portal. Place the dead guardian. Let me do that first. And once I get to 60%, I have to rush an ending, which is kind of annoying. I got a fire talisman, which is good. Let me take this. Let's try to save some resources here. Probably going to have to repair my barrier soon. I haven't looked at it in a second. I think my guardians are both doing fine, so should be okay to just use this guy. Oh, I must have used it up. Okay, I got confused. It's fine. Power up. Get in there. This would be really exciting if I actually win. I don't know if I'm going to win, though. I'm a little nervous. Oh, I am able to overheal it. Okay, that's really helpful. That makes me less scared. Get another one of these. Okay, now I have to start really focusing it down or we're going to have a bad time, so 60% is when it gets hard. I guess I could probably in the future try to completely max out the rift, which is unnecessary most of the time it seems like, but it would make me feel more confident that I'm going to be okay. I'm about to lose a guardian, but that's okay. This doesn't replace the cell I already have. It does not. Okay, good. Got a portal. I'll take advantage of that in a second. Let's build a new guy here. Some inventory space back. Pushing it. I think it gets really dangerous at 80%. Oh shit, I didn't mean to do that. That's really bad. It's really bad. It's a big time loss, I think. Misclick the exit there. Hopefully I'm not having to do mining at the end of the round. That would be really not good. Need to go replace another guy here. Okay, if I fail this, I'll at least be much better prepared for my next attempt. I think I understand what's going on quite a bit better. It's still a little scary, but I think it's probably doable. Just don't get enough runes every trip. And it probably doesn't help that I'm having runes on top of me every time I go places right now. Not amazing, to be honest. Try to heal this thing a bit. 50 is not bad. Could be worse. 92% now. This might be enough if I can just clear it now. I gotta hurry before they drain the barrier. Okay. Poised. That's unfortunate. Go, go, go! Draining the barrier! Hopefully this is enough before they get to the barrier. Use portal. Come on, come on, come on. Click the guy. Please be enough for 100%. It was. Oh, man. Don't know if I still have to do anything after that happens. Now for the final blow. We'll see how many points I get from that, because I really had to dick around for a long time, but I should be able to do it next time. Runecraft 49. And I think I can just exit after that. I think that counts. Amount of rifts closed 1. Total elemental energy 6. Total catalytic energy 6. I think that means I got a total of 12 points, which is pretty good. I think 8 is what you get for a mass round. So now I just have to remember how I did that 2 months from now when I have to do this again. But I think I got the general idea. And man, I should have turned on the heart rate monitor for that. That was crazy. All right, search the rift for real this time. Abyssal pearls. I got a large pouch, which is fine. I know what I got in it from the abyss. Okay, that was kind of junk. 113 nature runes, 12 blood runes, an air talisman, a needle, 12 abyssal pearls, and a large pouch, which I can use in one more runecraft level. And I don't think I wasted that much XP on practice. I only had one truly failed round that I abandoned pretty early when it looked like it wasn't going to work. So not a lot of like undue XP gain there. The gist of it is that went okay for my first attempt. 6 points, I guess, isn't great. I should be able to cap if I just stall indefinitely at the beginning while I'm at 10%. I was just so panicked about failing, but I think I can just keep building little weak barriers all around the place and try to get a higher score. So next time I'll try to go for that. I don't know if it like displays whether I'm close to capping or not, but still pretty good for a first attempt. I got 12 abyssal pearls, which means I probably will not be able to buy any of these things. I might be able to get like one of them because they're quite expensive. 400 abyssal pearls. I'm gonna get like 12 per cycle. But the runecraft XP is a thing that's significantly more exciting. Runecraft is now realistic for me to level, even with me only interacting with the other altars one time. But now that I have my pouches, I'm gonna go ahead and start training these. I guess I'm just gonna do all of it at the abyss because I can run there really easily with Rings of Dueling, of which I have 1,000,000. All right, doing nature runes for the first time ever. Craft runes. Hard task in Karamja. And then empty. I'll update the tasks to specify plus pouches. There we go. Nature runes. I will not be getting any levels from this anytime soon, I don't think. Do the ones that I've never done before first. So mind next, if I can find them. There it is. All right, first time crafting mind runes. Miracle Dance track unlocked. I'm surprised that's not a task for Falador. I guess now I can make a mind tiara and a nature tiara, which might matter. I think one or both of those are used in emote clue steps. Let me check. Creating a mind tiara is for the Easy Falador diary. The nature tiara, though, is used in a master clue, which in Riff. So I guess that doesn't really matter, but it's XP. Maybe I'll do it later. All right, being able to do the Chaos Rift through here is going to be really convenient. It's such an annoying walk otherwise. Oh, it's an easy wilderness task too. Cool. I guess this does make 2 chunks rollable. The exit from the nature rune, the nature altar, and the exit from the mind altar, which I think is already rollable. but this one's not, and might be convenient. All right, that's been very smooth doing that through the Abyss. Just crafted all of these plus pouches. I'm gonna go ahead and do fire runes. I'll just, no reason to go through the Abyss for that because it's like right here. Then I can start working on something else. Need to actually have a talisman or a tiara if I'm gonna not use the Abyss. Whoops, I forgot. All right, I'm gonna start doing agility now. I'm gonna probably do the agility tickets last every time so I get as much XP out of that as humanly possible. I'm gonna start with the Alcarid course. I'll let you know when I see a Mark of Grace. Just got the Mark of Grace, 19 laps. I guess this is actually the 20th lap, so that's pretty solid. If I can do 20, that's kind of, I guess, the average or what I'm hoping for on these courses where I've exceeded the course level by 20. All right, just got back from checking a clue step in the Abyss. That's why I'm skulled, but I'm about to do the Varrock rooftop course until a Mark of Grace spawns for the first time, which is pretty big. I'm now getting like 4 marks of grace per cycle, which is not a lot. That's 4 marks of grace for every like 60 hours or something. But I might reasonably be able to get the graceful outfit before this account is complete. All right, not so lucky with the Varrock course here. It spawned on the 9th lap, which, I mean, it's more laps than I've been able to do on the Varrock course before. I had done 22 laps to date, and now will have done 31 laps after this, so I guess I can't complain. Hopefully we'll get lucky with one later. Yeah, there's the Mark of Grace. Oh, I got a baguette random event. Do we get it? Nope, just a regular baguette. Still over here running the Drainer course. Haven't gotten a Mark of Grace yet. I did hop to get off the forestry world because I kept getting notifications for people chopping the willows over there. And doing so reset the lap counter, but I want to say it was like 12 or 13. I can do the math later and figure out exactly what it is. I'm definitely over 20 total laps though, so we're doing better than average on the Drainer course. Obviously, if we want to get more laps than average, we want it to be on whatever the highest level course is. In this case, the Falador course, but you know, I'll take more XP. Okay, I think I'm about to hit 51 agility. There it is, 51. Now that is actually a significant level. I could have taken advantage of this on prior cycles and just didn't think about it, but this lets me do the Edgeville Dungeon to Varrock Sewers agility shortcut. It's a pipe shortcut. I can fit through it with a potion, but going through the pipe shortcut is the last thing that I need to do to complete both of those underground chunks. Now, it's not a huge deal because I already want to kill most of the enemies that are in the Varrock Sewers and the Edgeville Dungeon, like the Hill Giants and the Moss Giants are going to be super worth fighting. The Hobgoblins are probably worth fighting. The Earth Warriors, the Black Demons, that sort of a thing. But it will let me skip some of the more annoying enemies, like I guess the Giant Rats. Whenever I finish, if I get a skeleton and or zombie champion scroll, I'll stop killing them, but I'm just continuing to kill them until I get their champion scrolls. So anyway, yeah, that's a somewhat exciting level up. I will take 51 agility. Oh, and we got a Mark of Grace on the very next lap. All right, this is our last rooftop course for the cycle. After this, I'll probably head out and do the Brimhaven course. I'm going to continue to save tickets until it's going to get me to a crucial threshold because I want to get as much XP per ticket as possible. I did use some tickets to get to 50 last cycle so I could do Rogue's Den, which I think was very much worth it. I need to look at the level up table to see if there's anything really on the horizon for agility other than like run energy restore thresholds. Well, I guess one thing that I can already boost to now with an agility potion is I can grapple across this rock, although I guess it technically deposits me in the same chunk. No, it takes me to this chunk, so that would make this a rollable chunk potentially, which will be in addition to the nature altar chunk being rollable now. I'll look into it. Oh, I got super unlucky on the Falador course. Now, I guess the Falador course, I'm not, you know, I'm barely qualifying for the course in the first place because you need 50 agility to do it. So I'm not going to get 20 laps out of this, but it spawned on like the second lap. All right, popping into the Brimhaven arena for my 23 tickets per cycle. I am going to go no Fashionscape here because I think the weight does make a difference. It's kind of annoying when you fail obstacles repeatedly here. All right, coming up on my last ticket here. Had to bring some triangle sandwiches. They don't weigh very much. They heal for a decent amount. There we go, 23 tickets. There's a update coming in soon for Deadman mode. Just going to keep the servers down for at least 30 minutes. If there's problems with testing, then it'll be longer. So I'm going to try to do some farming, I guess, so that things can be running while the servers are down. Oh, over here doing farming, I accidentally misclicked near the tool leprechaun and walked into this chunk, so I unlocked Ice Melody, in case you see that. Not unlocked whenever I actually roll this chunk in the future. Still working through farming patches. I'm about to get 54 farming. Yeah, not bad. Thing we really care about is 61, or being able to boost to 61 to plant snape grass. Farming's close to done, so I'm working on implings next. Just looking for one of each impling over by Draenor here. Alright, I'm on my last gourmet impling. I have 11 from the surface on baby and youngs. Just gotta keep hopping until I bump into one here that I'll read. Wow, that took forever. Finally got a gourmet impling. It's the last one I need, and then I'll go work on Pro implings. Don't quite have a level up here. Pretty close though. I'll get 32 Hunter within an impling or two. There's Hunter 32. We got a ways to go until the next exciting threshold. I think it's like 35 to catch Earth implings. So it's going to be a minute. There it is. Hunter 33. All right, working on construction now. I got to move my house back to Remington. I'll try to be smarter about this next cycle and do my construction training before moving it to Relica, right? And then I'll do Relica twice in a row and then construction twice in a row and so on. All right, I'm still working through. I'm gonna do my shops now. I have a new shop here, a couple new shops in Varrock Square, the armor shop and the sword shop I can buy out every cycle. So I'm gonna buy out the swords that I can use in Giant's Foundry, which are just the long swords, but I think it will still be worth it. And the other items I cannot buy here, but that's a total of what, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 effective bars in Giant's Foundry, which isn't bad. The armor shop is quite a bit more helpful to Giant's Foundry. Total of 48 bars, that's kind of nuts. That's almost 2 whole swords just from the shop. So a pretty big increase to... I don't know if I'm going to break even with that. I might cost a little bit of money, but it is going to be more smithing XP, which is always good. All right, so we're going to do my shop, so I'm taking a break here to repair all this armor. Let's see how we do at Sudoku. 13 law runes isn't great, but 34 cosmics is pretty good. Okay, I think I'm finally done with everything that's not combat. PVM time. I've got a couple things that I do while doing combat, like the frog spawn and the cave eels and the stuff in Poln of Nietzsche, but other than that, it's time to switch to PVM. It's been a really long cycle so far. All right, over here, started in PVM. I like to start this in the wilderness because it's annoying to have this looming. Fighting my Ents here. I can fight Calvarian, I think still, but there was a poll recently, or maybe it wasn't even poll. I think Jagex just said they were going to do it regardless. They're going to make it so Calvarian is locked behind the Wilderness Medium Diary, which means I'll probably never get to fight it again after this cycle. But I don't think that change has gone in yet. I will try to get one more kill out. I'm at Calvarian over here, going to try to get my kill before I can't fight him anymore. I'm probably not going to get lucky, but man, wouldn't it be cool to actually get a great drop here? I get one chance at it. All right, got my kill in here. Let's see what we get. Wines of Zamorak, not very exciting. Goodbye, Calvarian. I don't think I'm going to get to kill you again. We'll see. All right, I'm going to attempt to get my Abyss kills in. I don't know how nasty this is going to be. There's a lot of enemies down here. I'm going to try to kill all of them individually. I think I can because it's multi-combat. See how defensive this is. I went full defense, so I didn't bring my, fighter torso or anything. I'm just trying to avoid taking damage. Oh, I got the elemental talisman. I don't know that it's terribly helpful. I think I can make a tiara out of it, which is interesting. Probably gonna end up skipping this on future cycles. It is a decent source of talisman drops that I can use to make combination runes, but I get out of here because I'm getting attacked by ones I've already killed. I'm trying to kill all the guardians first. It's kind of my objective here. All right, killing my final guardian here, and then I'll start working on the walkers and the leeches. Oh, just got the giant pouch. I'm gonna be able to use it for a long time, but I'll pick it up here. Maybe. Can I get it? There it is. All right, walkers are done. Working on the leeches now, which seem to be a lot easier. They all die in one hit. It might be worth killing the leeches every cycle because they go down so quickly if you could land the hit. They have decently high defense. This is the last leech, and victory achieved. I don't have to do this on future cycles. All right, still working through PVM. I'm over in the Taverley dungeon. This one's not as bad as I thought it was. I think I just have really bad memories of that cycle when I unlocked Stronghold of Security and I didn't have Protect from Melee. Obviously, it takes a long time to kill all these guys, but it's quite reasonable. It's doable. About to get a hit points level here. There it is, hit point 77. Hello, got a dunce random while working through the Taverley dungeon here. My last blue dragon. Probably gonna run to safety as soon as I get it here. I think I'm safe here. Book of Knowledge, throwing it on Slayer. I have no way to train it. 38 Slayer. Working to get to 40 to be able to call the Silvario chunk complete. All right, should be getting an attack level here soon. There it is. Attack 76, taking that to 80. Oh, I missed. I also got to total level 1500 from that. That's really exciting. More worlds I can access. That matters for some content. It was mattering for Calvari, and I have an easier chance of getting in to fight him by myself with no bots on the total level worlds. But it also matters for like buying nails, which are usually bought out on every server except for the total level ones. Oh man, I'm apparently really rusty because I made another mistake here. This imp, I hit it, it walked out into this other chunk over here, and I unlocked Ballad of Enchantment. That's the Arduin Monastery chunk. That's unfortunate, but it's not a big deal. It's inconsequential, but I figure I should weigh in and mention that I got the plain satchel to add to my collection log. I think there's probably a couple other like tea flasks and satchels that I need to get from here, technically, but like they're not upgrades or anything. Oh, hey, this is exciting. I guess RuneLite recently updated the game so that you can actually track loot from wall beasts now. Used to be they didn't show up in the loot tracker at all. That's nice. Okay, I am very close to the end of PVM. I'm over here at the Calphite Queen. She's all I got left to do, and then it's minigame time. Okay, I think I got her positioned this time. Remembered to bring my super attack potion to make this a little bit less painful. Last cycle, I did a really bad job with this. I was super out of practice, so hopefully I do better this time. All right, phase 1 went decently well, better than last time. I did get hit a few times. I wasn't paying super close attention to getting the tick just right. Last cycle was really dangerous, though. I was seconds away from her despawning, so hopefully that doesn't happen this time. Doing way better than last cycle. She's already at 20% health, and I'm only 5 minutes into the kill. Should be fine, I think. Yeah, wow. That was 5.5 minutes. Last cycle was 20 minutes. 10 battle stabs. All right. Kill's a kill. Let me get out of here. Kill the guardians. Okay, this list on the right here is all I have left to do for this cycle. I'm going to try to get Barbarian Assault out of the way because that's like my highest stressor out of all of these. It's like really early in the morning on a Tuesday, so that might not work out for me, but it's worth a try. Okay, I found a kind group here at 3 in the morning on a Tuesday who's letting me pop out to low medium gamble. Fortunately, I have exactly enough points to be able to do them. All right, so let's do medium first. Attacker. 30 clean dwarfweed. Okay. It's not super great. Adamant square shield, which I think is one of the only ways I can get one of those. That's required for a clue step, which is really interesting. And the other way to get it is from worms, so I'm not mad about that. It's not helpful and probably won't be helpful for now, but it's cool. All right, on my last game here, got way more than enough points. My second to last game left me with like 497 attacker points or something, so I just did an entire new set of 10 waves, because why not? Okay, yeah, ended up with 366 extra points, which will be great for next cycle. That should make it pretty easy for me to do my low and medium gambles on my first run through if I can stay on attacker. Let's see what I get from the high gamble. I think this is actually the least interesting gamble. Like the low gamble has a rune axe on it that I haven't gotten yet. I think there's some interesting stuff on the high gamble table though. Let's see. Blood runes. Not that exciting. What I want is the 750 coal would be nuts. All right, well, I'm glad to have that out of the way. That's basically my biggest stressor for the entire cycle. So now I just have Soul Wars, LMS, Pest Control, like AFK and Castle Wars for 30 minutes. Dig site, everything else is pretty chill. I have gotten so many beehive randoms this cycle. I'm not complaining. It's really great. I need all the flax I can get, but wow. Thanks, man. 21 flax, pretty good drop. I'm about to do cleaning finds. This will be the first cycle where I can exhaust the finds. Okay, so I think the theory here is I need to have these 3 items in my inventory. So I get 25. I can fill my inventory of dig site specimen rocks from this one and this one for a total of 50. Wait, are there 3 here? That's weird. Those are 3 separate exhaustible objects for no reason. But this one isn't split. That's so weird. All right, well, 75 then. 25, 25, 25. It's still not going to be anything insane. Let me go ahead and gather them here. Okay, here's my first batch of finds. I think the old symbol is the only one that's really interesting. Let me check. Case 36, okay. Also have the old coin here. Case 45, and I don't think any of these other ones, I think this is all garbage. Maybe the ancient symbol is not garbage. Okay, 37. All right, popping finds in the crate here. I don't think I care about any of the rewards from this other than the chance for a lamp, which I would put on Slayer. Yeah, that's all junk. All right, second of 3 dig site specimen rocks gathered here. I think I got the last find you can turn in here, the ancient coin. Just gonna go ahead and turn that in. Yeah, so that's the last of the kudos I can get from cleaning finds. The rest of it will just be hunting for a lucky lamp, I guess. And here's my second of 3 batches. Let's see if there's a kudos threshold that I care about. I'm not gonna get enough to get through that gate. That would be pretty helpful for when I'm doing like wood cutting and stuff. So I have to walk all the way around right now, which is very annoying. Oh, actually, Bon Voyage is 100 kudos, and I think I have what I need for that, right? Although I have to roll the chunk to be able to complete the quest. Okay. Well, if I've got 98 kudos, then that's pretty exciting, because I think it's just one chunk that will give me a quest completion that will get me to 100 or let me do Bon Voyage, because I also meet the stat requirements for that. Interesting. Let me look at what the chunk requirements are. I don't think I can complete it, because I think it requires the woodcutting guild, bizarrely. Yeah, I actually have every chunk. You need a ton of chunks for Bon Voyage, and I have all of them except the woodcutting guild, which is less difficult than it sounds. I think, well, if I rolled Land's End in Corrend, I'm like 2 chunks away from it, so I probably won't get there still for a very long time. But it could happen. I'll probably get to 100 kudos long before I roll that chunk. Can you believe somebody got to 99 Slayer by getting these lamps? I got a lamp, that's cool. But it's 500 XP per lamp. Doesn't even scale with your level. Oof. Alright, yeah, all those lamps are going to go on Slayer. I want to at least get Slayer to 40 before I start lamping something else. Yeah, so that's it for cleaning finds. Not a great haul, but I got some coal, which is good. And some iron, which is nice. Alright, I need to eat some breakfast, so I'm going to get my AFK Castle Wars tickets out of the way. 3 tickets. That's my AFK. Let's go do Soul Wars, I guess. Over here waiting for Soul Wars to start. Maybe early enough in the morning that I won't be able to get into any games, but we'll see. I think I can get pretty good on points if I just focus on bandaging. We learned that last cycle. Alright, first game was 54 Zeal, which is about as good as I'm going to get, and still get 60. So no matter what happens in the next round, obviously I'd like to get 90 so I can get 3 Spoils of War here. We'll see. Alright, 57 Zeal in the second game. Doing really great. I got 121 tokens and get 4 Spoils of War. It'd be unprecedented, I'm not sure. Alright, 4 Spoils of War. What do we get here? Don't care. Don't care. Come on, give me some coal, please. Ugh. Alright, well. Okay, just got Giant's Foundry, Pest Control, and Last Man Standing left. I'm looking pretty decent on bars here. I didn't go too hard on Adamant bars and Mithril bars without having the Smithing Catalyst to reduce the coal costs. I'm okay to just carry over some of that coal in the next cycle. But this is going to take a really long time. I've got enough bars and enough like plate bodies and the like that I'm going to be making swords for hours here. Hey, smithing 82. This is actually a significant level. I wasn't thinking about it, but I can technically buy, what is it? Kovacs Grog? It's pretty expensive, but I can buy Kovacs Grog to boost my smithing level by 4 to get to 86, and 86 will let me make a rune axe after all this time, which would be pretty nice given the insane amount of wood cutting that I have to do. So I think I am going to do that. I think that's a good idea. I already have a rune bar, so I won't need to like buy 2 of them to smith it and like to smelt the bar and also smith it on an anvil. Yeah, I'm just gonna do that right now. Let's do it. Buying 1 Kovacs Grog, which is a collection log item. That's neat. Okay, I have 3 rune bars. I believe I just need 1, but let me make 100% sure that that's true. It is. Okay, over here at this anvil, we're gonna drink the grog. Smith, rune axe, please. Man, that's wild. Gone so long without one of these. I guess that makes the low gamble at Barbarian Assault a little bit less exciting. But still, I'm pretty pumped about finally having one of these on what is essentially a deforestation account. Okay, I have finished Giant's Foundry. Man, that takes a long time now. 22 swords. Ended up getting 190k smithing XP. So if that keeps up, we'll get another smithing level next cycle. Getting within boost range of 85 is possible, and I'll finally be able to use rune, which would be cool. But now I'm almost done with this very, very long cycle. I'm gonna go do pest control and then last man standing. Popping into novice pest control. Okay, did both of the landers. I have 49 commendation points. Let's go do last man standing. I'm hoping it being now 9 a.m. on a Tuesday that I can get paired with some AFK folks. Oh, and I can show you my supplies used here before LMS screws it up. I think this is actually correct this time. I had some issues with it last cycle. It seems correct to me. Seed usage is correct too. I've been using a ton of Rings of Dueling charges. Like, it's so convenient to be able to pop over here and use the Pool of Refreshment. It makes the cycle so much faster to move through, to have access to it. So I'm gonna go ahead and reset this and we'll go do these LMS runs. Had a reasonably decent beginning to this round here. I got my first kill and then I fought off somebody who came and found me. I guess I scared them because they ran away without me finishing them off. But I'm just gonna chill here and wait for the survivor count to go down. I might be able to do this in 2 games, we'll see. Okay, I'm gonna end up in 3rd place here. I just don't have the resources to finish this character off. 3 points. It might end up being a couple more games, we'll see. Oh, got 1 point on the 2nd game. Okay, I've survived down to the top 9 players, so I'm guaranteed to get at least 2 points from this game, which would put me within 1. So I just have to survive to 3rd or 4th place, and then I'll be done. Pretty tense right now. I'm in the top 5 players. I need to get to top floor to be done with this cycle. I'm just kind of hoping that someone else goes down here before somebody finds me. Okay, I came in 2nd place, so I got slightly more points. I got 8 points instead of 7 points, but we are done. I am gonna go and summarize the cycle. Really pumped for this to be over. All right, folks, it's the end of the cycle. We got all kinds of things to summarize here. Let's start, as usual, with time played. 64 days, 15 hours. You can see that summarized down here. 1,551 hours and 12 minutes. I'll summarize the live split timer here. Okay, had to finagle a bit there to get the timer to show up. 70 hours, 2 minutes. We'll round that down and say it was 70. About 30 minutes longer than last cycle. I guess it didn't take as long as I thought, or I had other efficiencies that I was able to build in. It saved me some time. It's kind of insane that it's taken 1,550 hours to get a rune axe, and cycles are taking 70 hours now. I feel a lot less bad about reducing the publish rate on these videos to once every 2 months. This took me about 3.5 weeks this time of going pretty hard on it. All right, let me get the XP tracker set up. It's gonna take a minute here. Okay, here's the XP gain for the cycle. Getting close to 1.5 million XP per cycle, which if you divide that by 70 hours is a pretty miserable overall XP rate. 577k in mining, 233k in woodcutting. All these numbers are pretty normal looking. What really gives us the context here is looking at the delta. So that's a comparison in XP gain from this cycle compared to the previous cycle. Looking at the delta, you can see here the biggest change, woodcutting is up by 70k, and that's almost totally from forestry. Pretty significant boost in XP. I can't really tell you whether that's mostly from the small number of events that we actually encountered, or if it's because of the increased and standardized time to chop trees down. But it is a pretty significant increase in total XP gain. I'm not going to complain about it. Runecraft is up probably as a one-time thing because of the giant XP boost from the Temple of the Eye quest, but it's also going to go up quite a bit just from being able to do 1 game of Guardians of the Rift every cycle. Might actually see a Runecraft level every now and then. Mining's up a bit from more stars, more consistency. Smithing's doing pretty well. All of this looks pretty much within our normal tolerances. You notice I did not get an additional 84k herblore XP. A lot of that herblore XP was a one-time thing because of all the herbs I had banked up to that point. I actually didn't do any herblore training this cycle at all. I'm just going to bank my herbs until it makes sense to use them, or if I get enough secondaries that it makes sense if I'm going to unlock a new potion that I'm actively going to use. So I probably won't be training that every single cycle. You'll also notice thieving is down because I didn't have built up a whole bunch of squirk juices that I had left behind. As far as important level thresholds on the horizon, I'm trying to get to 100 combat. I'm currently at 93 combat. It's going to take us a really long time to get there, but the short path to it is getting 80 attack and then 80 defense and then 80 hit points. Trying to maybe grind prayer up a little bit by that point. Hopefully I'll have plenty of Marintils to use my house altar to maybe squeeze out a few extra combat levels. I want to get that veteran pest control lander as soon as possible. Smithing 84 is an important level. I'll be able to use a Dwarven Stout to boost to 85 to smith rune equipment, mainly in the Giant's Foundry, and actually smelt all of the rune ore that I've been accruing, which actually isn't terribly much. We'll talk about the bank here in a second, but yeah, it's only going to be like a sword or two that I'm going to be able to make with rune ore. I think that's it for XP. Let's talk about other stuff. Oh my god, while I was talking, I got another Beekeeper random. This has been like the craziest cycle for Beekeeper randoms. I'll show you how much flax I end up getting. It's going to be crazy. Okay, my cat was really refusing to let me close out this cycle there. It kept unplugging things. This is the goal tracker. This is a summary of everything I did for the cycle. I'm just going to go through it quickly. Pause the video if you really want to study any of these. I did do every task that's been highlighted in green here, though. These are our same blocked tasks. The new things added to the list are the Gem Stall, 3 Heroes, and Arduin Rooftop Course in Arduin. Error tracking, I made up for my errors last cycle, but I made one new error. I accidentally overclicked clay, so I have to mine 1 fewer clay next cycle. Optional task, just kind of did the pickups and the dairy cows. Haven't really been messing around with combination runes at all. And then this is probably the most extreme cycle I've ever done for farming. I really tried to farm as much as I humanly could. So if something's red here, it's because I didn't physically have the seeds to support it. Other than that, I even did all the weeds. I got as much farming XP as I could possibly squeeze out of the cycle. Let's look at the loot tracker next. Again, pause if you want to look at any of these. Then let's look at the bank. These are the new items from this cycle. I got a jackal bone, the forestry kit, an unstrung symbol, a cake. I'm trying to point out if anything here is particularly exciting. I shouldn't have gotten this powdered pollen. That was a mistake for 2 reasons. 1, I can't get to a beehive to use it. 2, I need hunter level 50, but whatever. It's how we learn, I guess. Got the rogue top and the angler waders, which is awesome. This rune full helm is an upgrade, but realistically I'm probably going to be using the fighter hat, so it's not that big of a deal. It would only be in a situation where I really care about defense above everything else. 12 abyssal pearls, the elemental talisman, some ensouled abyssal heads. I guess the random guys in the abyss can drop those. I thought that was only abyssal demons, but now I learned. A satchel. Some of these, like the water skin, is just a consequence of me getting it down to 1 dose. That isn't really a new item. Rosemary, battle staves, the adamant square shield, iron darts, bronze limbs. A lot of this is from cleaning finds, and of course the rune axe. And I'll go ahead and clean this up here. All right, let's do the bank scroll. Pause if you want to see anything. I'm going to let myself accrue some herbs. Okay, a couple other things to talk through. Here is the random event history. You'll notice all the beekeeper randoms. Pretty great. Yeah, so I did August 8th through August 29th is how long this cycle took me. Finally, the bank delta. This is the change in my bank from last cycle to this cycle. I'll just search for flax really quick. I got 100 flax this cycle, which is huge. That is potentially a ton of bowstrings. Well, it's 100 bowstrings, but it's potentially a decent amount of fletching XP. Let's go ahead and scroll through here. I am down on law runes, but I've been really liberal in my law rune usage, which I think is fine. I have a total of 767. I got a law rune drop from Barbarian Assault gambles recently. Just going to continue to use those because it saves me so much time to not have to think about using runes. Overall, looking pretty good though. I always like to stop and take a look at coins because I do have to spend money on like shopscaping, but I'm up 196k, so we're definitely more than paying for the cost of shopscape when it comes from Giant's Foundry, which is a great infusion of GP. Last thing I want to look at, I don't always talk about this, but banked XP plugin. If I were able to use all of my banked herbs to their full potential, I would get to about 54 herb lore. I obviously can't do this for many reasons. Some of these I don't have the level for, some of them I don't have enough secondaries for, some of them I'm trying to save for prayer training, like my Marintils. And then fletching, this is going to blow up. As soon as this shows that I can get to 80 fletching, I'm going to try to get to 80 fletching as soon as possible, because that'll let me make a magic short bow, which would let me train range, which would let me actually have a chance at doing the fight caves. Now that my, access to prayer potions is building a bit. I did get a handful of snape grass this cycle, which is a few more prayer potions that I can get. My trigger point for doing the fight caves right now is having a magic short bow, probably having my range level at least up to 70, if not 75, and having enough prayer potions that I have a full inventory of them. At that point, I'd feel pretty confident just going in there and doing it, but I'm not like another account where if I screw it up, it's okay, I just farm the resources back. I don't really have infinite access to things like arrows and prayer potions, so I gotta really make sure that my one attempt counts. Okay, and that about sums up the cycle. Let's go ahead and get to the chunk picker already. The chunk map's gotten really complicated. I probably just need to like clean up all of these icons and remove most of them and just try to focus on stuff that's high priority or new. The number one chunk I want is in Trana. It'll let me finish the Lost City quest, which has a bunch of really cool downstream unlocks associated with it. It would be cool to get to Karend. I have some new rollable chunks now. I can technically roll into Karamja here. I can also technically roll here because of the grapple. I can do that grapple now from getting a agility level up. I would be able to get here because I can go in through the abyss, go to the nature altar, and then pop out, I believe. Same goes for the Goblin Village chunk, which I might have been able to barely walk to around this edge here because South Taverley gave me the exit. But I can also get there via the Mind Altar now. Yeah, Intrana is mainly what I want. Let's not dilly-dally around. Let's go ahead and roll a chunk here. And if I get a reroll, we'll just wrap there and leave the actual bonfire chunk as a mystery for next time. Which I think is what just happened. Is this the one that's like literally dead? Like actually empty? If it's actually empty, I'll just roll now because I'm not even going to go there. There's no content for me to do there, so I will roll one more. It's one of the few true there's nothing there rerolls on the map. Won't me do that board. West Feldip Hills. Okay, so this one's not a reroll because of a Slayer, because there's ogres here. I haven't actually had a chunk that natively has ogres in it that has forced a bonfire roll, so I will do a bonfire here because of the ogres. That's fine. Not super exciting. One small favor and watchtower are here, and no like hunting or anything like that. I guess this might be cool because it gets me to other more interesting chunks here? Question mark. Altier Impling. Okay, I guess we get an Impling spawn there. Oh, they added Impling spawns. I gotta thank Source Chunk. I asked about that because it would make it easier for me to keep track of when I get access to new Implings. And yeah, thanks Source Chunk. Appreciate that. Source Chunk has added everything I've ever asked for to the chunk picker. They rule. So add that as a rollable chunk. And then there's Chinchampas down here that I will not be able to catch, but technically eventually interesting. I think I can maybe catch the Black Warlocks, which would be more Hunter XP. But I didn't roll those chunks. I rolled this chunk, which is kind of boring, but it is a bonfire. So we'll see you next time for West Feldip Hills. Thanks everybody for hanging out. See you next time. Bye.